too, but
Okay, check. We're gonna see if all our systems are up and running. Things are really at loose ends today. Now, am I even visible on the screen? What's up? Okay.
Yep.
We're okay.
Yep.
That's good. Here goes our clacker. All right. There's audio setup. Oh, hold on. You gotta fix my mic. Here we go. All right. That'll be a lot better. Guess I'll turn that thing off in the back. That's really distracting. Okay, so things, like I say, are a little bit loose ends right now. We might have a little bit of dead time while we get set up and running. We don't have Raven here to run cameras, so I'm going to set up one control and give it to Josephine. I'm going to put us on 360 room. Here, Josephine, here's a control for you.
thank you, sir. Oh, of course, I tapped it while I was grabbing it.
You all good? And I'm going to get my phone set up as a control too, and then I can give that to you. Okay, Rob?
Mm-hmm.
All right, give that to Rob. There.
Okay. Thank you.
So, stuff.
Hang on. Let me see if I
Stuff and things to do. First of all, sound check. Level looks okay. All right.
Sorry to hear about your toes, Ed, and glad Sugarberries was able to make it better for you. He stubbed his toe.
These are shared details that are titillating.
Titillating.
Totally.
How come it shows
Ian,
offline on the
this is
screen?
that.
Do I have to refresh this? Yes, I do. All right. Okay, I'm going to try and get back up to speed here. We are going to be on somewhat of an erratic schedule over the next couple of months, and the reason is that we are moving into busy season as performers. All of us, most of our day jobs are that we actually do fun things for our,
As opposed to this.
as opposed to being a bunch of accountants at 9-to-5ers. We are, for those who may not know it, on my right here, the venerable Ian Little is actually a producer of murder mysteries and special events. Beside him, Rob, who plays Percy, is a professional artist, caricature artist.
Caricature artist and sculptor.
Yeah. Janice, my wife at the far end, is a face painter and runs her own little home business. And so she and I do gigs a lot because I'm a balloon twister. Amanda has got Amanda's the only one that's normal.
I'm a waitress.
She's a waitress. But you like waitressing most of the time. You're pretty happy about it, actually. Right?
That is
And-
not an easy job.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No, there are none of us that would say it's easy. We all have great respect for you.
And Glenn, who's missing today, who plays Raven, is a balloon artist. He's a different balloon artist from the kind of balloon artist I am. I am what's called a balloon twister. So I make all the little balloon animals, dogs, all those kinds of things. But Glenn does decor. He does big builds. He does big fancy archways and decorations and stuff like that. And I was over at his house 2 days ago while we made these giant 9-foot palm trees. And he is installing those along with about 5-6 other things that he's setting up for the Twins and Triplets Club
Ooh, fun.
Festival, or whatever they're, I think it's called Twin Trip City, that they're doing at Millwood's Town Center this week.
Amanda also does our social media and is our chat master.
Yes.
And without her, we would be lost.
Yes, Amanda's our chat man. And then we also have, Doggo ran away. I was going to pick up Simon and introduce him to you, but he just ran
Do
away,
help
so that's
collect
fine.
the troops. And yeah.
Okay, let's get focused on game
Just tell
stuff.
people how exciting it is to hang out with on Wednesdays. So.
We're still finishing the level 5 updates for all of your characters because you guys just got to level 5. So I want to talk about that because I have done not all the updating I want to, but a lot of updating. Why do you give me grief? Okay, my computer is always saying, no, I can't find that for you.
I've been all over Amanda.
Game notes. Here we go. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to, of course, I need to put it on the adventure screen to do this.
Take my bag if you need it.
The clock. The clock is now going to be a base for the picture.
Mm-hmm. I need a prop. A prop for the prop.
All right.
Is that going to make it too high so it'll fall over backwards?
Yeah, I'm kind of worried that that's
Well,
gonna
we'll
slide.
find out.
Be all slidey.
I see what she's doing. It's just a base, like it's
Yeah.
not
I get it.
Yeah,
It's all about the base.
about the base, but the
No,
base.
Drizzle.
getting the reflection of the light.
Rob's running off
No,
on, rubbing
there's
off on
nothing we
me.
can do about that.
Yes.
What's going on?
Oh, it's the glare
it's
now
coming
from
down.
the globe.
Yeah, and it's
It's starting to lean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe at break I'll go see if that easel I have in the garage or in the car will work.
Because we just carry easels in our cars.
Yeah, well I do.
That's right.
Well, you are an artist, so I actually have an easel downstairs. I could grab that. But
We carry lots of gig gear in our cars. Signs and easels and tables and chairs and tents for special events, all that kind of.
thousands
Stuff.
of balloons.
That is.
And face
Thousands
paints in
of
every
we were all
color.
knocked prone due to the cat.
Yes, the cat ravaged the fiery area that you were all in the game. Knocked all the minis over.
It's okay.
I thought you were talking about me.
Not that cat.
Yeah, the other
Cat
cat.
screen.
Do you want to go into
The Larry cat.
Where is he? Is he outside?
He was
In the
outside.
rain?
We just had a little bit of a rainstorm here, and he was outside watching the rain come down, but sitting in a dry spot.
He doesn't like the rain. He gets grumpy when it rains.
He yells at it.
Mm-hmm. Because we made the rain happen.
Yeah, he yells at us and he yells at the rain.
Okay. Good. It's on behind me so that you guys are going to be able to see it too. I want to talk about we're going to cover some of the Foundry program right now before we actually play tonight. So apologies to people at home if this stuff is boring for you, but I'm going to explain. How do you run all of the screens on the tabletop, Dave, and you run everything from your computer, and how do you make all of the character sheets happen and all of that stuff? We use a program called Foundry. There are a number of different programs that do this kind of thing. There's the browser-based Roll20. There's Fantasy Grounds. There's Foundry. There are probably 2 or 3 other ones. We used a much smaller one at the very beginning called Arkenforge, but we switched to Foundry a couple of years ago, and it works great for us. We actually rent a server from forge-vtt.com that runs Foundry for us. So our stuff is always up on that server, and we can get at it from any computers we want to connect to it, instead of me trying to run it from just a laptop at home. But I have the laptop connected to the TV, and so I show with one browser source on the TV the maps, and with the other browser source on my laptop I control all of the stuff. So what you're going to see is a lot of adventure screen stuff now. Well, let's go to the adventure screen, guys. You're going to see the Foundry program and everything. Don't split it though. I need the full screen. Yeah, that's good. And turn off my little head ski there. Nope. Somebody. There we go. That's good. Yeah.
Oh.
We're fighting.
We're fighting.
There's two guys doing the same things. Double cameras. So this is the thing, and we're going to go to the character sheets tab, which is this one here, the actors, as it's called. We're going to go to the actors tab, and I want to go down through everybody's character sheets real quick and show them updates. Extra feats have been completed. For a few of you that didn't have them filled in yet, I've gone ahead and helped you. So here is Josephine's character sheet with all of its stuff on it. And shows the first sheet is just the general thing. I want to show you that your attributes have been updated because you got 4 more points.
Yeah, I did that the other day.
Oh, well, so some of these I may have done, some of these you guys may have done. I don't remember which is which anymore.
I was able to do this by myself, but I wasn't able to do other things by myself.
Good. So there's an edit button here. You click this edit button and it lets you put stuff in. It says here, though, that your key is strength. That seems weird to me, and I'm going to change your key to dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, you're up now, and we're going to complete that. You're up to 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3. All right. On the feats tab, which is this one here. On the feats tab, there are a couple of additions or fixes or changes that have happened to you, and a couple of things to point out. I think one is that here's a perfect feat for Amanda. Stubborn. Look at that. So that just. Anyways, this has really bumped up her will saves. If you look on the left side here, her will is expert
Sorry,
now.
Could you repeat that so we can hear? No, I can't.
It's fine. Okay, ancestry feats. The feats that you actually got this time were an ancestry feat, and you chose wisdom from another life, additional lore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you took an extra lore. I forget what lore it was that you took, but that's fine.
Society. I wanted to be able to fit into the culture.
Right. Okay. And you took Dance of Thunder as a class feat. We won't tell them yet what that is until it's ready to go, because that's pretty good. All right. And there was something else. I think most of your other stuff. Oh, I know what we fixed on your sheet. The actions tab. Your weapons, all of the players' weapons have been slightly rebalanced. Okay. So that they're more useful at this level. And Rob.
Yep.
Turn me back to the thing.
The character screen.
What I'm talking about.
There.
Adventure screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go. Sorry.
Okay. So Mabel. The damage on Mabel now is a D10 plus 2 piercing plus 1d4 fire, right? So it got an additional 2 points because of the plus 2 here. Here's the thing about Mabel now.
13.
Mabel, if it doesn't show it here, and it really annoys the hell out of me the way Foundry does this. It doesn't show it here, the details of the weapon. But if you go to your inventory and you click on Mabel, it now tells you that target must be at least 10 feet away. If you try and shoot at a target closer than 10 feet, and you know what? While we're talking, I'm going to edit it. so that it says it here too for you. Target must be at least 10 feet away. Bracket closer than 10 feet, comma. Player must roll with disadvantage. So rolling with disadvantage, for those that don't know at home, means that when you're going to roll with disadvantage, it means that you roll your d20 twice and you got to take the lowest of the two rolls. When you roll with advantage, then you're rolling the d20 twice and you get to take the highest of the two rolls. This is actually a D&D rule, but we use it from time to time in various things, even though we're using the Pathfinder system for most of this stuff. This applies to two weapons that you guys have. One is your long rifle, because it's a long rifle. The other one is Percy's weapon. Percy's shadow bow. Also has to be at least 10 feet away, or he's going to be rolling with disadvantage.
I've been using that at distance. If I'm using it close, it's tomahawk and Bowie knife.
Now, the way you can fix that, though, is either take a movement action or even just take step.
Yeah. Step
one square back. Now you got your 10 feet. All right. So.
You know, I like to shoot things like square in the face.
You do.
So,
You do.
So.
Gangster.
Your peacemakers have been improved too. Your two peacemaker weapons. The strike on them is plus 13, which is the same as the strike bonus on Mabel. But your peacemakers, the damage on them is a 1d8 plus 1 instead of a 1d6.
Nice.
So they've gained 2 there as well. And a couple other things. Your whip is now got a completely different setup on it. It's a plus 12 strike, so it's almost as good as your other ones. And it's 3d4, which is the equivalent to a 1d12, plus 2 bleed. So it creates a slash now that is going to have a recurring bleed on it, and it's a 3d4. And the reason that these things are being rebalanced is because I think that the amount of damage, I understand why a regular whip would get only like a 1d4 damage, or a regular dagger would only get a 1d4 damage. The problem is that for your favored weapons, you're not going to use them when they're really low damage like that. You're just never going to use them. You're just always going to use the same highest damage weapon you have. So to let you have variety and to make you make some choices in those things, I'm trying to get them to all make roughly equivalent damage for your minimums and maximums, with a few little bit of difference in flavors. You want to bleed, you're going to want to use your whip, right? But it's still going to do great damage. And so this is the whole idea of what I would call favored weapons.
Much appreciated, Dave. Did you change it so that I also have the ability to just attach with the whip?
Yes. So again, the problem is it is not giving the description here. Okay. It's just like you attack with a weapon you're wielding. So, but if you go to the inventory and you actually look at the item, the runed braided whip, you will see that there is a long description now that says, first of all, it says it delivers a painful slash. It also shows the range increment is 15 feet. Okay. It also says, alternatively, you can use the whip to grapple a medium or smaller creature up to 15 feet away. So you're not going to be grappling any mastodons with this. You can continue to grapple to keep your hold on the target so long as the target remains within 15 feet and you continue to hold the whip, right? The grab creature gets a +2 circumstance bonus to escape unless you are right next to them, adjacent. And it can attempt a DC 16 athletics check to force open the wrapped whip end. And once it's no longer grabbed, the whip is unwieldy until you re-loop it. So it's like reloading. You got to wrap it back up. with an interact action. So it'll take you 1 action to wrap it back up out of your 3. And it takes 2 hands to do that. You can't be holding a gun and trying to wrap your whip at the same time. However, you can use the whip without being re-looped, all right? But it takes a -2 penalty.
Makes
See?
sense.
The other important thing to remember is that a creature adjacent to the target can interact to remove the wrapped whip. So let's say that there are 2 enemies in front of you and you've got one grappled. The other enemy could choose to take one of its actions as an interact to help its fellow monster. All right.
Okay.
Just so you know, that's a
That's
standard
awesome.
rule for
Thank
that
you.
stuff.
Thank you so much for updating so that like it's not a mystery to me how I'm using this thing now. There's some actual
Yeah,
rules to
there's
it.
actual rules there to help you out. That's most of your stuff and you've got some other things here. I believe that in your actions, here's where your Dance of Thunder is. Here's where your Spirit's Mercy is and your Collect Spirit Remnant. Don't forget this one. This one's important. Cover fire. You lay down suppressive fire to protect allies by forcing foes to take cover, right? So this can be a really good thing to keep your thumb on a foe and keep a foe from being dangerous. And your smoke bombs there and your 10 paces. I forget what it is.
that
That's
means-
your +2 to
like,
initiative.
no, like pretty much wherever I am, I'm like able to whoop right up to them 10 paces. The pew pew.
Now, on the left-hand side here where it says initiative, notice this says medicine. You want that to say perception, because if it says perception, you get a +12 to your initiative. So when we have a roll, I just updated it. Whenever we do rolls, you want to make sure that this is set to the right thing. That's weird. I don't understand why you can change that.
I think we were all checking our medicine the other day, and I think I just left it on there.
That's fine. As long as you turn it back, it's a nice quick way if you don't want to go to the little handy hand here, which gives you all your proficiencies.
Oh.
I think that's all my notes for you. I'm going to look real quick and see if I got anything else to talk to you about. Whip grapple we talked about. Okay, good. Next notes, Lavinia. Most of the stuff with Lavinia we've already covered, I think. Her attributes have also been updated. Most of you, if you count up the total number of points at the bottom, it should be either 12 or 13. And that's going to vary from class to class based on your background or some other things. There are a couple of things that'll give you 1 extra attribute point or 1 less attribute point. But the average is 13. Most of you have 13. I think maybe the Ranger has 12. Percy. Stuff for, I'm going to look at my notes here to see if I got more stuff to talk about for
I just wanted
For
to remind you
Lavinia.
that I've been boosted to D10 for both
yes.
Heal and Saphira.
So Lavinia's taken a feat that boosts her healing die from a D8 to a D10. So she rolls 2 D10s now to hit you guys with a big ass heal. Also, her weapons have been updated and fixed and balanced a little bit. Her gun is here that she never uses. Her rifle, her revolver. She's got a little revolver here. It does not have a strike bonus on it, but it has 1d8 piercing damage. Again, it's been updated. You just don't have what?
I don't have one. So I don't, in my bag of tricks,
You don't have a
You don't
prop?
have a prop?
I don't have a prop.
You don't have a prop gun. There you go. Now you have a prop
I
gun.
have half of
Where's
them.
the
other
half?
half's in the living room, I think.
Okay.
We'll get you fixed up. And Saphira's sickle is badass now because it's a D10 plus 1 slashing plus 1d4 fire because it's a bright iron weapon plus 2 persistent shadow damage. Every level it now does shadow damage.
Can you explain shadow damage, please?
Well, it means it's 2 extra points of damage, just like a bleed, except it's shadow damage, sucking the life force out of the monster.
So now that works against an undead, or does it work for an undead?
No. Shadow will always work against an undead
Against
too,
it.
because R1's boss of the Shadow Realm in this particular world and is not a friend of the undead.
Okay.
So if it was, I guess, stuff that will benefit the undead would be some kind of negative energy, like what harm does. But shadow damages everything.
Okay.
The Navaja, which is your dagger, the damage has been beefed up to a 1d8. And fire. Now there's a mistake there because it says it's bludgeoning and it should be piercing. So we are going to go and fix your dagger right now because that's stupid. Well, why does it say piercing? Okay, so some kind of bug in the Foundry program. I do not know why. Other stuff is stuff that you already use. However, you have demoralize now that you can demoralize with, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, demoralize is also one of my feats, which is really neat because it takes it from being verbal like it is here and turns it into a visual. So it doesn't matter whether they can understand me or not. I just have to look at them and do nasty
It's
things.
called, I believe it's in your feet thing.
Demoralize them with
Give
your
me the
eyes.
full screen so that people at home can read all of the text if it comes up, if they want to stop on it and read it. In her feats, she has something called, where is it? It was called glare,
Down at the
right?
bottom. Yeah. Okay.
Is it at the bottom?
Yeah, it's closer. It's
Intimidating glare. She can demoralize with a mere glare. Ugh, she looks at the monsters and they freak out and they demoralize.
My sister has that.
Yeah. Okay. So
Your sister doesn't watch this stream, does she?
God, no.
probably not. Most older people like us don't even know what Twitch is. They have no clue. And I don't mean us, including you, Amanda. I mean the rest of us.
I mean, of course, I tell a lot of my friends that this is like the poker game of the 70s and
dogs?
80s, right?
Yeah, okay.
Where older people like to play
Yes.
poker every now and again, and they get together and they hang out and socialize, and it's all about the social activity. So it's not about winning or losing; it's about hanging out with friends and
I mean,
getting that
We
effective.
do all
community.
want to win,
Well, yeah,
but we also support each other.
right. There's
So, yeah,
community.
it doesn't matter if we lose $20 here. or
Yep,
there.
it's, there you go. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of them understand it when I put it that way. It's like when you had a
That's the
poker
best
game
way to do
with
it.
the buds.
Yeah, that's a good explanation.
So we're moving on to Percy because Percy has more changes than anybody else. Percy's Weird Tiger has been completed, but first let's go on to his attributes at the bottom. All your attributes have been updated. Your strength is 3, your dexterity is 4, your constitution is 3, your wisdom is 2. Not a whole lot of charisma or intelligence.
I never wanted to be pretty.
He's not too bright and not too pretty. Other stuff though, and also most of your languages, I've tried to get the languages set up for you. Under your actions, one of the things that was missing in your actions was your Bridger's Trap. It was not available as an action. It was just sitting in your inventory. So I've changed it and rebuilt Bridger's Trap as a weapon so that it should now be right here. You can now use it. You ignore the strike because the strike is if they step on the plate, it automatically goes. But it's here and it shows how much damage it will do if they step on it, all that stuff. Your Deloso shotgun has been made relevant. It has a maximum effective range of 15 feet. Okay. Because it's a shotgun, so it's a close-up weapon. It's a strike plus 16. So it's hard to miss with a shotgun, see? Now, you can use it from 15 to 30 feet with a disadvantage. All right. And the damage that it does, of course, in this case is a 1d8 plus 4 piercing. All right. So it's always going to do at least 5 points of damage, and it's almost always going to hit because it's got a 16 to strike. It's always going to do at least 5 points of piercing damage plus whatever the fire is from the bright iron, right? So it's been made a lot more useful. Your shadow bow, just like we talked about before, the damage on your shadow bow is 1d8 plus 1 piercing, 1d6 shadow. So the shadow power of your shadow bow has increased as you've gone up in level.
Why does he have a 16 on his shotgun and I've got 13 on Mabel?
You've got more distance.
Because his shotgun will only shoot 3 squares.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then beyond that, he has to roll with disadvantage to shoot up to 6 squares. And beyond that, it's not effective at all.
Okay.
More than 30 feet away, he can't even use that weapon.
It's not a rifle.
Now, your shadow bow range has been fixed so that the range on it is correct now. The range is like 140 feet.
Okay.
Here it is, range
that's
increment,
right.
140 feet,
Yeah.
which makes a lot more sense than the stupid mistake that was on it before. So yes, that's why your weapon is whatever your base ability is.
Yes, dear.
Bowie knife has got a plus 13 on it. Damage is a 1d6 plus 3 piercing, 1d4 fire. Tomahawk is 1d6 plus 3 slashing, 1d4 fire. So there you go. Those are your weapons upgraded and fixed up.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of your actions are like they were before. However, at the bottom, you have a free action called Hide.
Ooh.
This is rendered to you. The action of Hide, it says, as the note says, from the GM, your shadow bow grants you the ability to hide. Because one of the properties on your shadow bow that was never shown up here was that it gives you the ability to hide in shadows. So if we go to the inventory and we look at the shadow bow and everything that's been correctively put on it, it says this weapon naturally wraps natural shadows. I've got to fix that text around you when you are in dim light. You can use one action to hide. You make the stealth check with advantage, but you got to have dim light. So it's not going to help you in full daylight.
But twilight or
or a
dawn.
cave or any other, a forest. I would accept dim light in a forest.
Yeah.
All of those kinds of things, but not out on the grasslands at high noon. And your Bidger's Trap has got all the details of how to deploy it. If you need to see those details, you look in your inventory. If I can figure out a way to get these descriptions to appear under the Actions tab as well, I will do that. Something that you have that we have ignored is Hand Wraps of Mighty Blows.
Uh-huh.
So make sure this is not your leather bracer claw
No.
bracers.
And I remembered them, but
This is an unarmed thing.
I
right?
thought you had included that in my attack.
I may have forgotten. I don't remember
Okay.
anymore. So anyways, that's something else to keep in mind that you got those goodies. Okay, I think
I've got
that's
the hand wraps and the bracers to increase my my
Wait, do you
unarmed attack
continuously
damage.
wear the hand
Yeah,
wraps?
hand
and
wraps are
bracers?
on there. Yeah.
yes, he has both of them.
Yep.
He's all about his hands.
Yep. I'm all about the punch.
Under treasure now, I've dropped an Orichalcum coin and I've made an Orichalcum coin and dropped it in everybody's treasure. You only have one each, but if you get coins, you can adjust that number. Silver pieces are there, and I fixed all of your gems so that they've got the proper icons on them and stuff.
Wow.
Well, when we come to anything like a market or a shop, then I think it falls to one of us to be an accountant and distribute evenly amongst the members of the group.
And an
That's-
accountant.
Glenn who does that.
He does
He's
math
usually
stuff.
pretty good at that. But he's also running cameras and stuff, so, we'll need to have everybody divvy up those. Going to Percy's feats. Percy, his human side has gone through some adjustment because of the curse of the Weir Tiger. Under his ancestry feats, he now has Gloomseer and Darkseer. Gloomseer, the curse of the Weir Tiger has greatly enhanced your senses. which means that you now have low light vision naturally. You don't have to wear goggles or any of that stuff. Dark Seer. The Curse of the Weird Tiger has greatly enhanced your senses. You gain full-on dark vision. So it's not just dim light, but it's even when it's
So I'm
dark.
on par with you, the Elven vision.
You are. The other 3 humans do not have those abilities, but you 2 do. Also, under your skill feats, you have inherited the ability called Steel Skin. You wear your armor like a second skin. You can rest normally while wearing medium armor. So this is important for some of the things that we're dealing with. You had toughness before, which gives you lots of toughness. At the bottom here, besides your beast speak, you now have Curse of Shirkala, which is the thing that gives you the attribute Beastkin, and it's a curse, and it's got all of the stuff in it that you transform into Percy Weird Tiger. This form is the same age and body type as your true form. Roughly the same physical traits, but in some cases they're slightly enhanced. Your transformation may be uncontrollable at times and be triggered by a full moon or by taking damage. When you morph into a Weird Tiger, your clothing and possessions vanish and you lose all access to them while you are morphed. Powerful magic items, such as the Shadow Bow, can sometimes be an exception to this and remain on your morphed form. Using change shape counts as creating a disguise for the impersonation use. Time you can gain the mastery to remain in or out of your alternate form indefinitely. So what this means is you don't have access to things like twin takedown and your tomahawk and your knife and your shotgun as if you morph into Weird Tiger.
Okay.
All that stuff morphs away, right?
Right.
The only things that stay on your body when you morph into a Weird Tiger are the Shadow Bow and its quiver of arrows, and this newfangled armor that you don't have fully identified yet. To that end, over in the party, you'll see now that there is now an actor called Percy Weird Tiger. This is who you will become now. If you morph, you will change from Percy Red Feather to Percy Weird Tiger, and he has got everything of his own that is slightly analogous to yours, but a little bit different. For example, if we
Where's the Percy Weird Tiger? Is it under the?
it's in the party,
It's under the party.
Click on it as one of the
One of the actors, yeah.
one of
I'm
the
just
actors.
seeing. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So there's 2 Percys now. You'll see Percy and Percy. Okay. So here are some differences. Percy Weird Tiger's strength is 4, whereas regular Percy has only got a strength of 3. Percy Weird Tiger's land speed is 30 feet, whereas Percy regular speed, that should say 25 feet, not. But Percy Weird Tiger can climb 20 feet. Regular Percy cannot. Okay, stuff like that. If we look at Percy Weird Tiger, you'll see that he is got a background of being an amnesiac, and he is actually a barbarian class as opposed to a ranger class. He's got an armor class of 21, whereas Percy Redfeather has an armor class of 22. So you lose a point in armor as a bit of a barbarian, all right? If you look at your actions, you'll see now that your actions as a Weird Tiger are Claw, Fangs, Jaws, Unarmed Attack, and the Shadow Bow. You've got crazy actions, and you'll have to go through all this stuff and read it and learn it. You have a thing called Bashing Charge. You have a thing called Explosive Leap. You still have Hunt Prey, the same as being a ranger, where you can set a marked prey. You have a thing called Primal Roar. You unleash a primal roar of terrifying noise to demoralize each enemy that can hear the roar. You now can Rage.
Ooh.
And you have Swipe. So Swipe will let you attack 2 enemies at once in front of you.
Wrote that wrong.
Are you okay?
It says you tap into your inner fury, and I read it as you tap into your inner furry.
Yeah, that's right. You tap into your inner furry. Very good.
Okay.
You do not have any spells or anything like that that you can cast. You have an inventory that only shows the things, the plate and the other two things. Under crafting, though, there are tattoos that you may want to look at.
Oh, a tattoo?
Because under feats, it turns out that one of the ancient feats that you inherited from Shirkala down here at the bottom is tattoo artist.
Wait, so if we want to get tattooed, it has to be from a like psychotic were-tiger?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Hey, maybe I
When
don't want
he's
a
got
tattoo.
enough control to be able to do it. You can craft tattoos, including magical ones. Okay, so you'll see the rest of your stuff here, and it talks about your bonus feats, talks about your other stuff. Titan Wrestler is an interesting feat. This means that you can attempt to disarm, grapple, reposition, shove, trip creatures up to 2 sizes larger than you. So there's some pretty badass awesome stuff here. Catfall.
Of course.
Your cat-like aerobatics allow you to cushion your falls. Treat falls as 10 feet shorter, and so on and so on. So you got a lot of shit to learn depending on which way you're going to go. You're going to need to make choices now, whether you're going to be a ranger or whether you're going to switch into beast mode.
Don't you decide that at this point?
At this point, it'll be a roll of the dice and it'll be uncontrollable.
Okay.
If he takes damage, I will roll to see if it's enough damage to make the trigger happen. So it's going to be chaotic. Speaking of chaotic, there's going to be some chaotic stuff that happens with Glenn's magic as well. He hates this idea because he loves control. But he's not a full-fledged, completely fully trained wizard in this world. He wasn't born a wizard. He's discovering his abilities. So crazy shit can happen is what's going to happen. And again, it's going to be a percentage chance that it can happen when he tries to cast a spell. Any questions, Rob, on your new goodies? You have a lot of shit to wade through.
There's a lot to go
You have
through.
2 characters now that you have to.
I also noticed that the were-tiger's intelligence is higher than Percy's.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, he gets a little smarter. He inherits some smarts from Shirkala. Shirkala was around for a long time, man. When you're actually updating attributes for the strength and the wisdom and stuff like that, these character sheets do place some limits on things. So there were times when I would go to want to put something someplace and it wouldn't let me do that. It would say, no, you don't have the points to do this, but I still had a point. And I didn't choose to go with manual. I decided to stick with the way the system awarded those points. Okay. I think that's most of the stuff for Percy and for his Weird Tiger goodies. Note that your hit points go from 78, which is still the highest in the group, to 83 as a Weird Tiger. So you get a really good extra beefy bit of points there. The other person in the group who gets extra beefy bit of points is Lavinia, who gets temporary hit points
Only for a minute.
for a minute, which is 10 rounds in combat.
Oh, okay. Good.
If an undead dies near her,
Yeah. So
she sucks up some of that dark energy as extra hit points. And then they stick around for that long and then they go away. And that's what the temp HP is there for, is if any character gets those
I
things.
was curious about that the other day because you had said something about temp HP and it automatically updated for her.
Yeah.
and it doesn't even have to be undead. Anything that I see that dies around me gives me 10 hit point.
If I die, you may have my temp points.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's kind of her. Okay, so that's that. We're gonna move on. We're gonna skip Raven. Raven's on top of all his stuff. He knows it because he reads all of the whole system of Pathfinder and he knows everything. We're gonna go straight
He's
to
on top of
Thaddeus.
every single one of our points.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
things.
Under Thaddeus, your armor class has been corrected from ding
I'll
dong.
get it.
Somebody at the door.
Probably my
It's been updated
Yeah.
from 25 to 24
Okay.
because
Fair enough.
your studded armor. Yes, Simon, we heard. Thanks for help from the dog. Your studded armor had an incorrect bonus of 3 on it when studded armor only gives 2. All right.
Fine.
Something else I'm going to, while I remember, going back to Percy. Percy, you were also wearing studded armor instead of your buckskins. And I tested it back and forth, and it does you no good, because even though the armor class bonus in studded armor is 2 and the armor class bonus in buckskins is 1, when you unequip one and you unequip the other, your armor class does not change because it's capped at what your current level is, only allows it to go up to 22, I guess.
Okay.
So I was like, well, you want to wear your buckskins because the studded armor was giving you a noise issue. All right. And the other one doesn't. Okay. Going back to Thaddeus. Your weapons, you'll notice now, and you're going to need to clean up and let me know if you want to remove some of these.
Yeah.
You now have your cane rapier and your exquisite cane rapier.
I saw that.
Strike is 14 on an exquisite, and damage is greater on an exquisite than a regular rapier.
Yes.
You'll also notice that
But
your
it's not bright iron, right?
No, but it's still
not
1d4
bright iron,
bleed.
but it does bleed instead. So
Okay.
it doesn't do the 1d4 fire, but it does do bleed because it's got a serrated edge.
Gotcha.
So it still is a little bit better weapon for him. However, your gun has been made more reliable for you.
Thank
You've got
you.
a revolver that's got a strike of 13, and the damage is a 1d8 plus a 1d4. So it's a
Yes.
decent thing, and it gives you a good ranged weapon besides your stilettos and your fillet knives.
Right.
Other stuff. You also have the little Derringer, which is reduced to a 10-foot range.
Fair
It's
enough.
got a good
Yep.
strike on it, and the damage it does is a 1d6 plus 1d4.
Yeah.
So your pearl hilt fillet knives are all set up and correct because they had some problems before, but they're all set up the right way.
Thank you.
Your pearl hilts get a +1 to attack, so they're a strike 14,
Mhm.
whereas your stilettos are only a strike 13.
Yeah.
But damage, stilettos are a 1d6 plus 1d4, and pearl hilts are a 1d6 plus 1 and a 1d4.
Yep.
And then there's the other miscellaneous things that you've got in here, like new weapon, which I don't know what the hell that is.
I don't know either.
I can delete them if you need to. Battle assessment, quick draw, seek, treat, condition. You have got 3 reactions now. Let's try that again, which you just grabbed as a new feat.
Yep.
You feel a sense of deja vu when you made a mistake, almost if you weren't so careless in a past life. And you re-roll a triggering skill check.
I thought that was just
Yeah.
such a good
Nimble
feat for
dodge.
you.
Clarification on your nimble dodge.
Okay.
You definitely dodge out of the way, gaining a +2 circumstance bonus to AC against the triggering attack.
Okay.
If you go up here to your armor class and you click modifiers, it shows that nimble dodge is one of the things besides the studded armor and the proficiency and the dexterity that is giving you 24. So those 2 points, the reason that your armor class is 24 and Percy's armor class is only 22 is because you got nimble dodge. So that's where that extra 2 points is coming from. It is always, we're
That
just
makes
treating it
perfect
as,
sense. Yep.
as though it's always present.
Yep.
All right. So it's not an action that you have to, it says here it's a reaction. We're just going to make it a passive constant. Okay. And retributive strike. This is a big deal, actually. If an enemy damages your ally and both of them are within 15 feet of you, the ally gains resistance to all damage against the triggering damage equal to 2 plus your level. So 7 points. He gets resistance of 7 points of whatever the total damage is. And if the foe is within reach, you get to make a melee strike. So you're
Nemo
going to
me
get all this
impune
extra
chase.
attack shit to do. Huh?
Nemo me and Punela chase
That's
it.
right. So that's something that we haven't been doing that we need to pay attention to. And then you've got a free action expeditious inspection where you observe surroundings with, and you can do recall, knowledge, seek, and sense motive.
Right.
Okay. In your inventory, I don't think there's any other new things to talk about, except that if there are any details, I've tried to add them to your weapons.
Okay.
Other stuff to talk to about. I think that's all of those goodies. We already talked about your feats. Crafting. Now it is time to talk about crafting. Let me look at my Bridger's Tomahawk, Bowie. Okay. One of the things I got to talk to Glenn about is his Dragoon Revolver, Whip, Exquisite Cane Rapier, Weird Tiger, Fireball, Raven, that Flex Save. That's another thing for Raven. Identify magic items. There's a change to the way we can identify magic items. You can attempt to identify once per day every unidentified magic item you have in your inventory. Whether you successfully identify it or not depends on when you roll your D20 die. It's high enough to beat the difficulty check to understand what that thing is. This is the problem we have, is that you guys are getting kind of a backlog of unidentified magic items. This way you can all get them identified, you know what the hell they are, and figure them out. The bigger an item is, the higher level an item it is, the higher the DC is going to be, and the longer it will take you to identify that item. But most items you'll probably identify in the first 2 days, 3 days at the most.
Okay.
A question, Amanda?
Yes, what is this toggle free crafting?
It's the thing on Thaddeus's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Toggle free crafting? Doop. Probably just lets him make those whenever he wants, but I'll look at it and try and figure out.
I have it too, under my crafting.
Yeah. So on the subject of crafting, there are 2 modules. We have subscribed now to the Ripper, who is a module programmer who creates modules for Foundry. That's his full-time living. And so we pay a monthly subscription now for access to all of his modules. 2 of those modules are Gatherer and Master Crafting.
Mm-hmm.
Gatherer means that you're going to start to see, as I get it made and built and ready, herbs and other things pop up as items in your inventory, or stuff that you find
Yeah.
either on bodies or areas that have gathering points that you can click on, and there'll be some herbs that pop up. Master crafting is about recipes, and it's going to be books or recipes that you find that you then have access to, and you can use the little herbs that you find or the other ingredients that are required for a recipe. When you have them in your inventory, you will be able to craft them, and there may be a limit as far as how many per day or how many per week. And boom, you turn all of those little ingredients that you find into stuff that you want to use for potions and other special crafted items.
Neato.
This is how we're going to also address Josephine making black powder.
Mm-hmm.
With the ingredients for her black powder, the stuff for yarrow root bandages being yarrow root, and a few of these other things. But I had hoped it was going to be a lot easier to set it up than it has been, because the database that's already made with all of the ingredients and all the recipes is made for fucking D&D 5e and not for Pathfinder 2e. So I've got to do it manually, and that's pissing me off. I thought I was going to be able to just load up that data, and then I would have a bunch of recipes I could just put in there right away. But no, I got to wade through stuff, and that's going to probably take me a couple of months at least. I think that is all of the stuff to talk to you about for all of our housekeeping issues today. I know that's a lot of extra housekeeping crap. I'm going to look at my
I have
notes
one
again.
question which is tricky to ask and maybe even trickier to answer.
That's a nice lead in.
Is it going to make anyone uncomfortable?
No.
You can go back to the 360 screen. We're done with
Okay.
this bit.
Yeah. Well, there's mention of tattoos.
Tattoo.
Now, do I have to get the tattoo when I'm in the tiger form?
You tattoo. That's your skill. You tattoo.
When I'm in the tiger form.
Yeah.
You can only craft when you're in tiger form. You can only craft tattoos when you're
So
in
I can craft the tattoo when I'm in the tiger form. And so that means that I will have to gain mastery of my form change so that I can
Correct.
become the tiger and give a tattoo to people.
instead of
Well,
trying
the
to
tiger
kill
is
them.
more intelligent.
Well, there's a particular tattoo in my list which
There
has
is.
piqued my interest because it is incredibly effective and useful in our current situation. Because when you have the tattoo visible, undead in the vicinity consider you invisible.
Ooh.
Which one is this?
The spider lily
lily.
tattoo. Okay, so what it says is if your tattoo is plainly visible, you plane a checks against. Oh, there it is. Okay, an undead creature detects you for the first time. The spider lily tattoo manipulates your life force to make you appear to be undead for a short time. Attempt a deception check against the triggering undead creature's perception DC. On a success, the triggering undead believes you're undead as well. A mindless undead is likely to ignore you, while a sapient undead might react with curiosity or confusion. You can continue attempting deception checks every round as a single action to sustain the effect for up to 1 minute. In other words,
Cool.
I could turn into the tiger, creep in, or I could, if I give one of you guys the tattoo, these tattoos can be activated, and then you can hide amongst undead. Especially useful for those of us who are stealthy.
But we also have to get tattooed by a psychotic large cat.
You know,
Yeah, put us back on 360.
yeah,
So
you
we're
know,
just-
this is the thing. You know, there are
Yes.
some drawbacks, but
you have to get tattooed by a weird tagger that takes his claw and goes shing. So yes, now the tattoos that you currently have are level 4s, level 5s, and one level 3. I think that it's great that Pathfinder has put this whole tattoo idea into the system. The problem is that they provided almost no tattoos for it. So there are very few tattoos.
I'm not sure what the tattoo was, but there was one that I saw that goes on the face, actually. And I'll have to find it again because I was quite intrigued. It seemed like it was something that Lavinia would actually
on the
have.
cheeks
A
and
facial
above the
tattoo?
eyes,
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I get that reference.
you get that reference.
I didn't hear
Mr.
what you said, but that's okay.
Mr. So you have 4 up to, and you even have a level 5 one. You have a level 3, 2 level 4s, and a level 5 one that you have the ability to do. You cannot do the level 5 one until you reach. Oh no, you are level 5, so you can do the level 5 one. Never mind. There may be other tattoos that you discover in the world that you can add to your crafting as time goes on. So that's a possibility for stuff going forward. But the problem is that not a lot of tattoos have honestly been added to the game system yet. So that kind of gives me, I've got to try and homebrew them, and I have to see how much success I've got to do at doing that as time goes on.
Yeah, and there's one called the Faith Tattoo, and I think I would probably do R1 as my deity that I would swear to.
So yes, it's about
'Cause he's
tattooing
protecting my
yourself
brother.
or even tattooing others.
Yeah.
I will allow others to be tattooed. Notice that the costs are prohibitive,
Well, 90 GP, 80 GP gold
right?
pieces,
So that
60 gold
stands
pieces.
for, and when it says GP, which of course in their system means gold piece, for
Right.
us that means aerolite gem.
Aerolite
G
gem.
is gem.
Mhm.
If it's SP, it's sliver, and if it's CP, it's chip.
They're expensive.
Yeah, so they cost a lot to do. The same thing that Raven's going to deal with, because the costs for his spells are often very high as well. This is going to create a certain limit on you depending on economy, how much stuff you've been able to sell and gather. It's also going to motivate you to clean out your damn inventories and your bag of holding when you get the opportunity to trade away or sell stuff, so that you don't have things moldering around forever that you could actually get some gems for, and then use those for other things that you want to spend that.
You mean like
money
the bag
on.
of ferrets?
Like, yes, like it was weasels. It was a bag of weasels that you had.
We did get rid of the bag of weasels.
I know.
Yeah.
I just
We still need to do history sessions so that we go let people in the past. The first bag of holding these guys got, they found this awesome bag. It was a bag of holding, and they had it, and they put was it a bunch of extra rocks and stones into it?
Yeah.
I don't know why they were so lucky. I thought they would put regular items in it and then they would find out the hard way. But instead, no, they put a bunch of damn rocks in it. And this was actually a cursed bag of holding, that every time you pulled out whatever item it was that you put in it, there was a roll. A roll would happen. And if the roll was low, it turned into a weasel. So they go to pull out a spear and it becomes a weasel. They pull out a rock, it becomes a weasel. They pull out, a really nice scroll of healing, and it could become a weasel. So they had this bag of weasels for a while until they finally pawned it off at the rendezvous.
We started throwing.
They sold it to
weasels at-
somebody.
Tricked someone.
They tricked someone into buying it. That was good. That was good stuff. Sneaky. I think our camera's off. Jan and I are both cut off by the camera. I wonder what cat could possibly have moved the camera and done that. Yeah. Meow. Hold on. Give me the 360. I am going to try and adjust it. See if we can get this thing straight out. Should go this way. Because Jan's cut off too, and I don't want to.
It's pretty good.
I'm thinking just I want to cut off
A
Amanda.
millimeter there, but
You can cut me off. It's fine.
no, it's not.
She can always move over a little bit.
you could go a little that way.
I always feel
Okay,
like
that's
I'm
good.
pretty much snuggling up to
Oh, yeah,
every week. And
just-
I'm glad it's just his poster today.
Well, he's not really a smelly wizard, though.
No,
so.
that's true. He's not a smelly wizard.
Okay. That should have fixed it. So between games, what happens in our house is that our cat Larry jumps up and lays on our game TV. He likes to lay on the table. He likes to push all of the minis around. Nobody else is around, so he's doing this. And then he likes to rub up against all the cameras. And
the
he's
microphones.
and the microphones. Cover them in cat hair. And change their position. Okay, I am done all those goodies. We have covered what we needed to cover. Anything else you want to talk about for that stuff, or should we try and pick up where we left off in the game? Finally,
Let's do it.
It's 8:16.
it's 8:16. Okay, so we're going to take a break.
Okay.
I'm sure we put everybody to sleep who's in the chat a long time ago anyways.
We've got 3 followers on today, and I'm pretty sure they left.
That's fine. We will talk about how I've still got to get you the thing for all of the chat so that you can see
Right,
the
actually,
stuff.
but Yolo is now, she has now joined not Discord. What are we on? Twitch.
Thank you guys
Sugarberries
for
is
listening.
listening, and ZZ's Tops is here. I love LOL, and we're awake. says Rachel. Well, these guys have awesome stamina. Putting up with that.
It'll help you learn if you're interested in learning about how Foundry works and how Pathfinder works. Well, we just had a little bit of a lesson, I guess. Couple things to let you know for the people who are chatting at home.
We do have someone on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube, I
this,
see that.
Babe,
Yeah.
Pluto.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Pluto. Cool.
I will eventually get us a nice big chat so that we can read all of the chat that's coming from YouTube and other places besides just Twitch, because most of the time we're only seeing the Twitch chat feed right now, except on that screen. I was going to say that if you want to help us out, but you're not necessarily interested in listening to our stream, or you're going to watch a video and you still want us there someplace, if you right click on the tab on the top of your browser, you can choose mute. If you click on that and you choose mute, it still counts as a view for us. However, if you just click on the mute that is on the video player, that's right in the middle of the browser screen, or at the bottom of the video player, and you choose mute there, as soon as you mute that, you're no longer counted as a viewer by the Twitch system.
What's the Twitch ID? It says, what's the Twitch? I'll follow you there too.
Wildermage.
It's Wilder, yeah.
It's just Wildermage. So
Wildermage.
you type in Wildermage.
With a Y, right?
Yeah. WYLDERMAGE.
Yeah, Wildermage.
Yep. That's where you find us everywhere. And people may be confused, well, why is it the Wilders game and why is it Wildermage? Because Wildermage is actually a place that these people have still, all these players have still never visited.
You want to go see it.
It is a mythical, legendary place of wizards that exists in the world of Era. Wildermage is a settlement of magic users in the far northern forest.
And we still have like 10 portals we haven't explored.
Yes, that's right.
Is that all?
Oh, there's way more than
There's probably more than that. Also,
That's almost similar to
you do not know what is behind the golden doors at either end of the 3 halls that you have access to.
probably giants.
I imagine it would be something very large, since it is very large doors.
Someday it may be possible to find a key to open one of those doors.
Or pick the lock.
It's magically locked. You actually need the magical artifact that will open the door before you could ever get it to open. So, because Thaddeus already went, he already looked for for a place to, and there was nothing there. They're magically sealed. Okay, let's go on. We're going to jump to be right back. We're going to have a quick break, and we will be back. Right now it's 8:20. We're going to be back at 8:30. Okay, we'll see you guys then. Yes, we are good. We are live and ready to go.
Okay, we're
hit
we're
record?
streaming and recording.
We,
Yeah.
we did not turn it off this time. I left it on running this time. So we're all good. We are going to pick up where we left off. If this ends up being, when I get around to them, a YouTube video all by itself, just an episode video, I'm going to do a quick introduction here. I'm Dave Wildson. I'm the game master for our game. This is the Wylders game. And we're going to go around clockwise like we usually do. The first person is not here, and that is our trusty wizard, Raven Alexium. Look at that, back in prison again. He's working someplace today. And so Glenn, who plays Raven, is not here. Let's switch to the next person.
Hi, I'm Amanda, aka Josephine Smith. I am a sharpshooter. Pew pew. And I also drive a mean whip. This is for Nina. Bendy like a Twizzler.
Twizzler whip. Cool.
My name is Janice. I am the dog mother of Simon. I am Lavinia Rose, our local fortune teller, and I have a penchant for annihilating undead.
Candy. You can't eat candy.
I'm Rob Woodbury, and I'm Percival Redfeather, and I'm also Percival Weird Tiger. So now I have a dual personality, and I have to learn all kinds of new traits and fun things, especially my ability to tattoo as the tiger. Can you imagine? A big monster tiger with his claw going dippy, 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 dippy.
Hello, I'm Ian Little, and I am playing the role of Thaddeus Poindexter, also known as Beauregard Abernathy under certain circumstances.
That's right. Because rogues have secret identities. And that's what yours is.
Yeah.
Look at you guys. You're like, I'm getting people with multiple personalities all over the place. The whole Weird Tiger thing is growing more for Percy now. So yeah, he's got a whole second character sheet to deal with. We are going to pick up the story in a moment because the place that you left off last week was where you had defeated a patrol of undead elves that happened to come through this area. You've gone to a portal. You're trying to connect with the Fae. You're trying to connect with the elves. But using this portal system that you found a portal trying to get close to that area of the world that you thought that they were in. And it turned out that you ended up at a portal where all of the forest around it was on fire. And there was a cry for help. You went to help what turned out to be a pixie chained to a tree. And it was a trap. So before we pick that up, you just finished looting this group of elves that you defeated. There was an elven captain and a ranger and a druid and a couple others, all an undead troop. And you have got loot to identify. And this is where we need to go real quick through your inventories. If everybody goes, finds their inventory and look through it for things that you wish to try and identify. And I will identify them for you if you make the DC check to do it. So we'll start with Josephine. And we'll go to your inventory real quick. And this is why I like having these character sheets that I can look at it same as you.
Percy's. I was checking out Percy's because I was curious about those tattoos. So my inventory.
Now keep in mind, one of the things that we've implemented in our game is that sometimes there will be a magic item that is class specific. So when it's unidentified, you may end up with it in your inventory and you're like, oh, I'm going to try this out. And you try it out, but it doesn't work for your class. It works for somebody else. That already happened with the magic rune augmentation for Josephine's whip.
Mm-hmm.
It was a ring. It was a big pewter ring, like a napkin size ring. And everybody was trying it and it didn't work for anybody but Josephine because it was something that clips onto a whip. So now, what stuff do you have that needs to be identified, Josephine?
What about an unusual chain shirt?
Unusual chain shirt, roll a d20 and let me know what you get. You can add for your bonus to this, if you've got any arcana to, you have any bonuses to anything? You got a +2 to arcana, so you can add a +2 to it.
How do I do that?
You'll just add a +2 to your roll, wherever you roll.
Okay, to my roll. Okay. I rolled a 7. So 9.
+2 does not identify the unusual chain shirt. You can try again tomorrow.
Okay. Can we keep going down the
Yep.
list? Because we do have an unusual headwear here.
Unusual headwear. Roll. And again, it'll be a +2 every time.
+2? Okay. I rolled an 8.
+2, you do not know what the headwear does.
Okay. So I've got a shirt and a hat that I have no idea what I'm doing with. We also have a pair, I guess, of unusual shoes.
A pair of unusual shoes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I see them, yes. What'd you roll?
17.
You have no problem when you examine these shoes and you try them on. It turns out that they are boots of bounding, and they are now identified. It says the springy soles of these sturdy leather boots cushion your feet and make each step lighter. These boots give you a +5 foot item bonus to your speed.
Woohoo!
And a +2 item bonus to athletics checks to high jump and long jump. In addition, when you use the leap action, you can move 5 feet further if jumping horizontally, or 3 feet higher if you're jumping vertically. But it looks like they're only available to the class of everyone. So you, I messed with it. So I just yanked Josephine's chain there a little bit. Yeah.
My unusual chain.
You do have an unusual chain that you have not checked. So you have got 2 things, an unusual chain shirt and another thing called an unusual chain. Roll for your unusual chain.
Thank you. About a 6.
No, you do not know what
Try
your
again
unusual
tomorrow.
chain is. Try again tomorrow. Okay. Other things. Do you have anything left? Any more question marks in your inventory? I don't think so.
No, it was just all those mystery items that,
Right.
we received from the zombie elves.
Claire?
Could you kindly take notes for me?
Clarification on magic items too. You cannot, if you fail to identify your magic item, pass it on to somebody else in the group to identify the same magic item on the same day, right? It's 1 shot per magic item per day, regardless of who rolls it. So go ahead. What do you have, Lavinia? What do you want to identify?
I have an elephant pendant that I would like.
You have an elephant pendant. Now your arcana, where is it? Your arcana is 11. You are an expert. So for you to identify stuff like this is probably a good idea. There's something else that you could do though, is you could also send magic items for their first identification to the people that have the higher things and then trade them later once they're identified. Okay. So you could do that, but I'm only going to allow 1 identification per item per day, regardless of who is the one who does it. Go ahead. Elephant pendant.
4.
4
Plus
plus
11.
11 is 15, and it is enough to identify an elephant pendant. Remember, higher level magic items will have higher DCs. In this case, you made the 15 that you needed, and it is now identified. And it turns out that it is a wondrous figurine. As a matter of fact, it is a little marble mastodon, finely carved from a solid piece of marble. This gleaming elephant statuette becomes a fully grown mastodon when activated. The mastodon can be called upon no more than 4 times per month. It remains for 24 hours as long as it is being used as a beast of burden or for transport.
So like the one that I attempted to do
Yes,
command.
that's right. And you already had this before you ever encountered that other one, by
That
the
was
way.
pretty cool.
If
It lasts for how long?
it'll last up to
24
24 hours,
24 hours.
4 times a month. But that's if it's a beast of burden or transport. If it attempts an attack or otherwise engages in combat, it reverts to statuette form after 1d4 rounds. So if you get into if you're riding this thing, you get into a fight, I'm going to roll a 1d4, and that's how long it's going to actually stick around as a mastodon and do mastodon things before it pops back down into a little marble statue. Okay. You also have an unusual ring. Yes.
We have someone who stumbled upon us on YouTube.
Oh,
Hey.
hey,
So
welcome.
Hello to Black Hippie Ho. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to hang with us tonight.
Very nice.
We are actually going to get to adventuring in action in a moment. We just finishing all this damn housekeeping that's been building up for the last 2 months. Okay, so it is Lavinia's turn. You have an unusual ring.
Unusual ring. 16 plus 11.
You have no problem. That's a huge roll. The unusual ring, when it is identified, turns out to be Ring of the Ram. And it says right at the top, the magical properties of this ring may only be activated by a rogue.
Oh.
Heavy iron ring is shaped to look like the head of a ram with curling horns.
So
Its
can I pass
frequency-
this on?
Yeah, its
Okay.
frequency is once per minute, and the effect is a ram-shaped blast of force slams into one foe that you can see within 30 feet.
Ooh.
The number of actions you spend to activate this item, from 1 to 3, determines the intensity of the force. The blow deals 2d6 force damage per action spent and pushes the target 5 feet per action spent. The target must attempt a DC 22 fortitude save. So if you don't move and you do a punch, that is 6d6 force damage.
Wow.
I'm going to say that this thing, it says here the frequency is once per minute. I'm going to correct that to once per day.
That's OP.
Yeah. Because it's OP. And so we're going to do that now I'm going to say, we're going to do this. Frequency levels 1 to 10, comma, once per day.
So I actually accidentally banned myself from chat. So figure out how to get that undone.
Oh,
but
dear.
I just wanted to say welcome, Black Hippie Ho, and yeah, we plan on doing once per week. Dave was explaining earlier, during the summer it's going to be a lot busier for the players here, so we're not going to be able to get together as often, or it might be a little more erratic, but we do plan for every Wednesday, and it will be posted on wildermage.com.
Yes.
With the Y.
Yes.
And also our
WYL.
Facebook page. We do have a Facebook page too. We'll put it there. Okay, I'm trying to rescue our chat master and looking to see viewers.
Unban her.
Ban.
It was only
Report.
for 236 seconds.
Oh, okay. So we have a moderator bot. We have automatic moderator bots in these things that will stop crazy spam and other things from happening. Now those rules might need a little bit of tweaking over time, but it is possible for anybody to ban themselves by typing in a bad word that is in the bad words list.
I typed in wildermage.com, so it was a link. So
typing in links. That's why.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll see if we can get around that. That's to stop people from spamming their
Can you
whatever their
you
stuff
can put a
is.
space in it or something that would?
Yeah, so normally when I will type like the word Wildermage
Yeah.
and then say dots and then com.
Yep.
But I figured in this chat it wouldn't be an issue, but this is the first time that I've encountered this. So
Part of the thing is that I need to be able to designate you, and we'll figure this out. If we designate you as a moderator, maybe it'll stop doing that.
May I ask about my leather belt?
Okay, let's finish with Ring of the Ram. I need to say levels 11 to 20, comma, once per minute. Okay, so this thing stays more relevant later on. Once Thaddeus gets to level 11, it suddenly increases to being once per minute instead of once per day.
Ah.
That'll make it a much nicer thing higher up when you get to a higher level.
So every 10 rounds.
We will also balance as we go along with items that we want to continue for them to be useful instead of sold off. Some you'll sell off and you'll find better ones. Others that stay useful, though, I will continue to rebalance their damage or whatever their effects are to try and make it on par with the other things of your level at that time. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Super. Okay, so you pass the ring to Thaddeus, I assume.
Yes.
And
Why, thank you.
Leather belt.
You know what? Let me get Thaddeus's in. I'm going to just drag and drop from one to the other. Have you guys done that already? Here we go. Boom.
So amazing.
There you go.
Thaddeus, look and see if you can find it in your inventory now.
I think it showed up.
Is it in the Ring of the Ram somewhere? Yes, it is. It's in your inventory. We're good. Okay, back to Lavinia. What's the next thing?
Leather belt.
Leather belt. Did you roll?
I'm about to. 11 plus 11, so 22.
You are able to identify the leather belt, and it turns out that it is a scroll belt.
favorite number 1111.
So these belts, it's an uncommon magical item. They are specifically designed to allow for writing along the inside surface. You can scribe a spell to a scroll belt, crafting the scroll as normal. A scroll belt can only hold a single spell, and you must cast the spell before you can scribe another to the belt. You can't cast a spell from the belt while wearing it. You must remove the belt with an interact action. So one action, whip off your belt, hold it up, read the scroll, and a scroll belt acts as a mundane belt, but when the spell is inscribed on it, any creature can immediately discern that an unattended belt holds magic. And what else? You can't blah, 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 blah. If you're wearing the belt, a creature can notice the belt holds a spell with a successful DC 13 perception check. So basically, this is basically a way for you to carry around a scroll yourself, and it's not limited to any particular class. Anybody can have a scroll belt and use the scroll.
I
on
was
it.
going to ask, can other people read it? So
However, if you do not have the ability to scribe scrolls yourself, that's going to be limited to our wizard and our cleric. What that means is if one of the other of your party wants to use that scroll belt, they've got to get the spell inscribed on it by their magic user party members, one of their magic user party members. Then it can be passed over to them. They can then use it when they want to. Okay, so anybody can use it and anybody can do the spell off of it. But now Glenn's going to say, well, you should be able to read that spell, but I'm going to allow you to cast that spell as any person if you've got that scroll belt and you're holding it. Go ahead. What's the next thing that you want to identify?
I believe that's all I have. Other than we still have shells, but shells are.
You have shells. Something else that is unidentified fully in your inventory is the mystery remaining behind Abuela Mala's skull.
And showing as being Abuelita's skull here,
Yeah.
but I'm really interested because it's saying that she was a powerful sorceress.
Oh, yes. The description says, this engraved skull is all that remains of a powerful sorceress known only by the name, and I'm going to update this because we decided to retcon that a little bit, right?
Abuela Mala, bad grandmother.
Mala. No, Mala doesn't mean, Mala with one L means bad, but it's two L's. And I'm just going to edit that description on this item. ALA. So this, you do not have all of the full information on this skull. You know it's a Welamal's skull, but you don't know anything else about it. Just so you know, there's still identification. If you can find a being who knows something about this skull, somewhere in this world, they could tell you more information about it. That is the end of Lavinia's stuff, I think. Anything else, Lavinia?
I don't think. Scroll of False Life.
Well, it must be identified if you know it's a scroll of false life.
No, that's fine. I
Okay.
think that's it.
Percy, what do you got?
Okay, so let's start at the top. I have a unusual pleat.
Roll to see if you can ID it.
And I don't know if that's going to do it. I rolled a 3.
Nope.
Nope.
No luck.
Okay, and I have a cat amulet.
Yeah, roll to ID.
Meow.
That one I rolled a 4. Garbage. What is going on? Healing potion lesser. Fancy gauntlets. We've already established those ones, right?
Fancy gauntlets are just nice looking fancy gauntlets. There's nothing.
That's not the
Oh, wait. It says gauntlets have a magical glimmer.
Okay, maybe I need to roll for the fancy gauntlets.
Wait a minute just give me a moment because
Isn't that the claw gauntlets?
No, it isn't. We never, when you found them a long time ago, we never actually got the actual item in your inventory. We just made up this stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm trying to go back and figure out which frickin' gauntlet they are from the special.
Treasure generator.
Yeah. Okay, I got them.
Oh, that one I rolled an 11. So 11 plus what's my I'm using perception or wisdom, or what am I using?
You would use Arcana for it, so you don't get any extra bonus on Arcana, which is why you probably want
I get
in
a
the
plus
future.
11 on Arcana, don't I?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's plus 0. Sorry,
Yeah.
it lagged.
For magic items in the future, I think you want to pass them to Lavinia or Raven to ID for you.
Okay.
Because they've just got so much better bonus than you do, right?
Yeah, I got crap for bonus.
Speaking of Raven, Dave, I did have a question about Raven because we're sitting here and having our items identified. Is he going to roll at home and identify?
Probably will do that. Either that or we'll do it as soon as he comes on the next game.
Okay.
And we'll do them then.
Okay, that sounds fine.
You find out that you notice that there's some type of little mechanism on the back of the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find the trigger for it, all of a sudden a dagger goes shook and shoots out of each of the gauntlets. One single dagger attached to a retractable mechanism.
You got stabby wrists.
Stabby stab.
So they're like single Wolverine gauntlets, I guess you could say.
That's really, really rad. Oh, speaking of,
Wolverine?
yes, speaking of Wolverine, Michelle is in New York right now, and they saw Hugh Jackman in New York.
Oh, that's cool.
How freaking cool is that?
That's
So this is Janice's oldest daughter, Michelle, or second oldest daughter, Michelle. Amanda's the oldest. Amanda's sister, Michelle, is in New York City. They're on a trip with Michelle and her daughter Aria. Is it musically related, or are they just?
Oh yeah, it's
musically related
I believe
because
it's
they're
band
musicians.
related.
And they've been posting on their Facebook or everywhere they're touring. They saw Hugh Jackman. That's cool. That's cool.
Isn't that great? Like, so rad. I would
Okay,
love to see you.
so I've got to actually drag these over. I'm going to drag these bladed gauntlets over to your inventory, Percy, and we'll get rid of the fancy gauntlets because there. Okay, you have bladed gauntlets. That's sorted out. Any other thing else on your? That's it, right?
I don't see
think
anything
you
else.
don't
Yeah,
see- well.
I think we're good.
Okay, and you can try tomorrow, or
Yeah.
you can pass to one of your partners tomorrow. to do it.
Probably going to pass.
And
on
you
my
know what?
purpose.
We're not going to physically pass it. Just say, I pass this over to
Can
identify.
you have a
Because
look
I
at
don't
this?
want it stupid to drag it to the inventory and drag it back. I'll just click the button.
Yeah.
Okay, that leaves us with Thaddeus. Thaddeus, what do you think?
Thaddeus has a wooden statuette of a bull.
Ooh, Thaddeus has a wooden statue
Got a
of a
ram.
bull.
Had
you
for a
got a
long
bull.
time.
I swear you said bowl, and I was like, why would you want a statue of a bowl?
Bull.
Well,
Eull, right?
he's got a ram. He needs a lamb and a ding dong.
Ram ding dong.
There you go.
Okay, wooden statuette of a bull is in your treasure
Yes.
and is not a magical item.
Fine.
It's just a nice little wooden statuette of a bull. This one has no magical properties. It's just a piece of treasure that's worth 1 gem.
Okay.
Signet ring next to it is worth 5 gems, and it is a nice little ring with a red garnet in it. It is not a magical item. What else you got? What else you got? Anything else? I don't think you have very many
No, I
magical
don't.
items to identify.
Because
do you?
usually, if I've got anything that appears to be magical in any way, I pass it to somebody else that can actually use it.
By the way, updated your magnifying glass with the description, and you'll notice it's now a unique item. The lens of this magnifying glass will magically translate almost any written language in the world of Era. It
Huzzah.
also gives you a +1 item bonus to perception checks to notice minute details of documents, fabric, and the like.
Thank you.
So I wanted to point out that second little bit about the perception checks. So if there's some other kind of clue, for example, some type of hidden watermark rune or something like that, you might be able to discover there's something unusual about a document or whatever you put your magnifying glass on. It'll just give you a little boost.
Mr. GM,
Yes.
I did have something I needed to ask you about. I have a hand mirror with decorated frame. Is it just a regular hand mirror, or does it have any magical abilities to it?
I think,
What's that? That wouldn't have been.
is it the one from the Pixies? No, you put the one with the Pixies back in the box, right?
Yeah.
It's in your inventory, hand mirror
Yeah, way down.
with a decorated frame.
It's just above silver chunk and underneath lantern.
Looks like it's worth 4 gems, and that's all it is. It's just a little. It's actually, it should more realistically be in treasure, but for some reason it ended up being considered a container. There's something messed up with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a glitch in the item.
It's a pretty thing.
Yep. So I would say sell it at your first opportunity for some money.
Yep.
Other things.
I have ivory dice that have copper pips found in the first wrecked Viking airship.
Let me
Wow.
do a
That was
little
long
research.
time ago.
Yes,
was.
it was.
And I've used them, and they seem to be
First,
they seem to be cursed. They seem to lose a lot when the stakes are high, but then that is just normal for me.
occasionally have a high roll.
And now you have your let's try it again.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
But I want to know
roll
about
to
these
see.
dice.
Roll to see if you can figure out what's going on here.
Okay. And what am I looking under?
It'll be Arcana.
Arcana?
You know what? I'm going to say that you can use whichever one is higher. So you can use Thievery or Arcana. Arcana is still higher for you. No, that's Lavinia. I got the wrong person. Hold on. What is your
Okay.
Thievery in Arcana?
Arcana is +1, and Thievery is plus 11.
Use your Thievery. Because these are dice and it's all to do with you having a lot of knowledge of shady gambling practices and other thievery related items.
9 plus 11.
They appear to be some luckless dice.
Okay.
Let me go find them in your inventory. Are they at the bottom somewhere? Where are they? Which category are they in?
They're in the doctor's bag for some reason.
They're in the doctor's bag. Ivory dice.
Is there bad medicine?
We're going to drag your luckless dice in and just delete the ivory dice.
Okay.
Delete item.
Interesting thing.
So luckless dice are there and you can now decide what you're going to do with them. They have the properties rare, cursed, magical, and misfortune. But they're worth 5 gold pieces. Or gems.
Yes, but I can probably get more in a game of dice.
Well, if you don't use them, it's not a big deal. Just hold on to
Well,
them.
if you were to do a quick swap and give them to somebody who was going to roll against you,
Yes, but they're quite distinctive
uh,
in their appearance.
Listen to this. Carved of bone, luckless dice appear to be a set of loaded dice. If unsuccessfully identified as cursed, luckless dice seem to hold a minor enchantment that improves your luck. However, they fuse to you when you use them, cursing you with ill fortune. Luckless dice don't grant a bonus on game lore checks. Instead, when you use them to gamble, the GM rolls secretly, granting you the lower result. Once you realize the dice are cursed, the GM can instead allow you to roll twice and take the lower result. So it's a good thing you decided to identify them, because I wasn't going to tell you that you had me rolling against you when you were trying to do stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And who knows, maybe in the quantum realm that's been working on your other dice, and that's why you've had so many rolls.
You have a compliment on your beard, Dave.
very meta.
Is my compliment now?
It says your beard is impressive.
Oh, thank you. I thought she meant a compliment, like there was something sticking on it.
Oh, a compliment.
This is the problem with
to your
beards.
Compliment
beard.
on the
Believe me.
bird sticking out of your beard.
Believe me, this is the problem with beards, is that there's constantly, you're always having to check that did something fall on
Crumbs
my
and-
beard.
yeah.
Like
Can
I-
you save your snacks for
Like
later?
cookie crumbs from
And
this
stick
Oreo.
insects.
Okay. I think that's everything for me.
All right, shall we?
Okay, we shall. You have now finished looting those bodies, and you need to decide what you're going to do with the unconscious pixie that you have been carrying around, that you rescued. And
Might I ask
what direction you are going.
how many undead things died?
There were 7.
There were 7. So that would give me 7 temporary.
7 plus a mammoth.
Yes, the mammoth before that, the undead mammoth. However, you only get those temp spells for a minute during combat, and you're out of combat. So your extra temp health has gone away.
But when we're involved in combat, that's when I would add them.
Yep, the next time.
Okay.
We can go back and revisit that ability at that time, and we can actually test it in action next time.
So I was discussing with Thaddeus, and we think runaway.
Run away, run away, run away.
So, you want to go back to the portal, guys?
I thought that was our plan. We were going to trek back up
Yep.
the mountain.
I'm just
to the
obviating. I'm just
Yeah.
obviating here because I really think we should go back to the portal.
Before I climb up the pinnacle, I would like to leave a very visible message at the base of it that is visible from the top of the pinnacle.
Okay.
Do I need to help you by
How are you
cracking
going to
limbs
do
off?
this?
With rocks and branches and things.
Instead of carrying elven
No
bodies.
dead elf parts?
But no,
No.
I think they'll be hauled off by wolves.
Currently, you are still in the forest. There's still all of this smoke and pall hanging in the air. You can continue to retrace and follow your tracks northward along the trail you came from the pinnacle. That's about the only way that you can even determine which way is north apart from using a compass. I believe Thaddeus has one. I am going to retcon the loot that you got. And by retcon, I mean I'm going to go back and change what happened in the past. The loot that you found on all of these elven rangers, on the elven captain, you also found a small leather case. It's looks like it's made of leather. It's almost like a very small treasure chest or a leather or some type of document case. It's about 2 inches high. It's bound in leather. It's made of wood and bound in leather. It's about 2 inches high. It's about 8 inches wide and about 5 inches deep. And it has a magical seal on the top of it. It is a seal made in black wax, and you can clearly see the outline of a burned tree on this magical
Sounds like a
seal.
message.
Squishy wizard has scrolls with trees on it.
Raven says, I would like to identify and examine this box to figure out what it is. Okay, Raven. Go ahead and roll. Who's going to roll for Raven? Who wants to roll for Raven?
I better not.
It's like, I'm not rolling. Who's going to roll for Raven?
I'm feeling lucky.
You feeling lucky?
Yeah.
Raven rolls to identify the box or the seal.
Not great. 6, and he's got a lore of 11 or what?
He's got enough lore. He does have like a pretty high lore bonus, I think, on his stuff. Let me see. It's probably the little hand here. He's got a 13 to Arcana now, right? Because he knows how to min-max the hell out of everything.
19.
It is clearly some type of case that holds documents, and as he gives it a little shake, it's fairly heavy. There's something metal that clunks in that case.
Uh-oh.
It looks like the seal on the top is some kind of just a magical ward locking it.
So
What do you guys think?
I think it's a bomb.
I think that Raven would try to open it by reading this
And-
scroll
and you know
with
he-
the tree on it.
Probably used Mage Hand.
He would probably use Mage Hand as well. You're right.
Raven says, I would like to try and open that seal with my mage hand. He says, everybody stand back. And he sets it down. You all run off about 20 feet away behind a tree. As he sends his mage hand out there, go ahead, roll to see if the mage hand's successful.
Oh, easily. 18.
The mage hand pries the wax seal off, and there is an explosion. Boom, as this black shadow explosion happens. It's almost like a fireball, but it's some type of shadow. You are outside the range of this shadow, so nothing else happens. As this black shadow smoke clears, and it's not a spirit, it's just a black shadow. As this shadow damage clears, it was a shadow bomb. Shadow damage clears. The case is just left sitting there intact, and there's no longer any side of the ward on it.
So there was a metal thing that just disappeared?
So it was like the wax seal. Had
But
a
you
m-
said that it's something metallic was clunking around inside.
Its box is just sitting there now, waiting to be opened.
Oh.
Okay. So I think he would probably use the mage hand to tip it over. And,
Okay, he sends another mage hand over, and the mage hand lifts up the lid, and nothing happens.
Okay.
And from 20 feet away, it looks to you like there's something gold glinting inside the box
Gold.
on top of something else. It looks like some type of apparatus or machine or something.
Well,
So
Thaddeus
wizard-
or either of them, Raven or Thaddeus, would be in there like a dirty shirt.
Thaddeus
Inside the
decides
hole.
he's going to try and have the mage hand lifted up.
Okay.
And sure
Raven,
enough,
Raven.
sorry, Raven. So sure enough, Raven's mage hand has no problem lifting the item.
Okay.
And as he lifts it up, it's some type of steampunky looking gold apparatus about this big. It has some type of almost, it looks like a surveyor's sight on it, and 2 or 3 gauges.
Like theolodite.
Oh, like a golden compass.
Raven goes over to wants to examine the rest of the case, and in the bottom of the case, laying there, appears to be a fairly thin booklet, leather bound journal or instruction manual, written in Elvish.
So magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass.
So Raven picks up the journal, brings it over. Thaddeus puts his magnifying glass on the journal, and it is a book. As you open it up, there are clearly constellations on all of the pages, and the book is a instructional manual on celestial navigation. And one of the chapters in the book clearly shows the instructions for using this steampunk era version of a sextant that you have to be able to determine your position in the world.
Nice.
Very cool.
We need this.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Bag
Yeah.
of holding.
All right. Think about that.
I go holding, and I do. So I speak Fae. Do I read Fae as well?
You do not.
Okay.
You only innately understand Fae to hear it.
Just okay.
But
You can't even
Elven
speak
and
it without
Fae
practice.
are 2 different things, are they not, in terms of being languages?
Yes, and actually she can understand both.
Okay.
And eventually, if she works at it, she could even learn to speak both. Although she's naturally Elvish, so there's Elvish and there's the Fey languages. Fey languages are the languages of the little folk.
So my languages, it's Latin, which we already talked about the other
Yep.
day. Dutch, English, and Fae. So I
Yep.
don't have Elvish
so.
on my list of languages.
Let's see if we can correct that.
My ethnicity says that I am Caucasian and Elvish.
Let's see if there's something under E. Elven. Update actor. And magically, Elven is now on the list of languages.
When I was going through my languages, I actually almost updated mine to Elven as well. And
Oh, is that something we can do by ourselves? Oh, I guess so.
not necessarily. It was just in terms of ideally if I was knowing different languages, that was yeah.
You're going to have to spend time with the elves to be able to learn. Right. But I'm going to say that if you, for example, were to spend a lengthy amount of time, a month, you get a decent grasp, a halting grasp of the language in a month. If you were to spend 6 months with them, total immersion would give you a full grasp of their language as far as speaking it goes. Hearing it, you only need, 3 weeks. And I'm going to say you could understand them if they speak slowly. So if you look at your languages, you will notice often some of you will have a language there that you may not be familiar with, and it probably has something to do with something in your back heritage. For example, Percy's languages, I believe one of them is Susurran. Well, what
Yeah.
the hell is Susurran, right?
That's the wind language of
Yes.
It
the
sounds like
elementals.
Sauron, almost.
Susurran.
And it's a Pathfinder language, but it's the closest I could get to what would happen in this world, so I just went with it.
Okay.
There are lots of things in my own homebrew world, the world of Era that we're using, that I've got to make a trade-off between that and what Pathfinder wants to lock you into with the world that Pathfinder promotes. And so I'm just doing a compromise between the two. So you have found what I am going to call a navigation kit. And
That
we will
is so cool.
take this navigation kit and I will give myself a note to make it, because although we're talking about it, I don't actually have the item in the game.
I think the consensus was to put it in the bag of holding for now,
Yeah.
right?
Well, for now.
No one person.
I mean, unless one of us wants to become Anjin-san.
Become what?
Anjin-san.
Anjin-san.
Oh, the pilot of the ship. Anjin-san.
All right. So you guys can decide what you want to do with it. If it's going in the bag of holding, that's fine. I will remember to put a note and put it in there so that you've got it to find it when you're looking for it later.
Okay.
Now that you've got that and we've taken care of that important detail, because you needed to find some way to determine where the hell you are on the map sometimes.
We keep popping up out of nowhere and we have no idea other
No.
what's north, but
Yeah.
we don't know the latitude. Or the
Now, of
longitude.
course, it's celestial navigation. So
Right.
when it's overcast, you're not going to be able to
No.
use that thing, right? You're going to only be able to use it when you have stars out.
Yeah.
And or use it
Is it
with
a
the sun and
sextant or an
stuff.
astrolabe? Astrolabe.
It's some kind of combination of the two that is Aaron. So one of the cultures has made it, and the elves got a copy and know how to use it. So
It's a navigation kit.
what do you want to do now? Do you want to try moving north?
Let's go north. Let's go back to the escape.
I would like a marching order
Well,
of
I'd
who's
like
going to
go
be
in
what.
somewhere in the middle so I can have protection on either side, because I'm carrying the young miss.
yeah, and I'm tracking towards the spire that we came from.
Okay, so you're going to go in the front, Thaddeus,
I'll go.
Sure.
or Percy, Thaddeus, or
Percy,
Percy.
Thaddeus. It's squishy wizard can be in the middle.
Well, he always wants to be
Well,
last.
Lavinia's stronger than he is.
Put him before me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make him second last, just in case there are things that jump out and abduct
Yeah.
the last person,
We
like
want
you
that.
see in
We
the
want that.
movies. You know.
Okay, and we
I've been
proceed.
booted out of the game and I can't get back in.
Oh,
I've got the thing that says join game session. When I scroll down to see the list of names, it's only Game TV, Glenn, and Stream that I can that are up.
you don't have another tab open someplace that
Check your
actually
tab, see if
has
one's open.
No, I don't.
Thaddeus on it.
No, I checked that. So I've gone right out of. I've X'd right out of everything, and gone back in a couple of times now.
It doesn't say that you're online right now. It says that Dave, myself, Mum, and Rob are.
Oh, there I am. Okay,
Yay.
Is it behaving?
it is behaving.
Maybe it was just like
Okay. As you guys move forward, we're gonna see our dice. And it rolls an 8, and that means nothing happens. Okay, so you end up getting back to the spire. And
I'm leaving a
will-
message at the base.
I will.
What's the message say?
The message says "Pronus cum clava ferius," which means "down with the iron club."
Ooh. Very cool.
So, give me adventure screen for a sec. Does it actually give us the? Think Rob, give us the adventure screen for a sec.
Yeah.
Does it actually give us the pinnacle? Here's the pinnacle. This is the pinnacle with the portal on top of it that you arrived. We can see that portal, I guess, if we zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
There's the portal of fire in the middle. It's on top of the pinnacle. And this one had a kind of a ring of stone.
Yeah.
So there was a small pocket of grass and trees and the
fire.
portal. You guys had headed straight south from here, which means that I'm going to say at this point, you can see my magnifying glass. That's the icon. That's the cursor I've got right now. You come out, you emerge from the trees. Most of the fire is now burned away and died down. And there's still a lot of ash. There's still smoke in the air. The wind is starting to blow some of the smoke away, though. You come out and you are exactly where the cursor shows, pretty much right at the very southern end of the pinnacle. And this is where, in the ash, Thaddeus takes a whole bunch of stone and lays out his message in Latin down with the iron club. You are here. Do you wish to climb the pinnacle? Do you want to circle?
I have.
Yeah, I
I
did it at
have
the
a
base.
He did it at the base where all that ash is.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you think, I'm going to ask Raven directly, like in character. Raven, can you locate us using the equipment which we have acquired? You are a man of science, a man of engineering. Can you figure this out? Because it would be great if we could mark the location next to where the portal goes.
Okay. So Raven goes and once again examines the thing. And what we are going to examine is Raven's natural abilities. I'm going to have a look here. Arcana, crafting, discipline, stealth, thievery, survival, society, performance, nature, intimidation. With his combination of arcana and crafting, they're pretty good. I think he might have the best chance of figuring this out. He's got other lower skills academia here.
Well, he's hanging out with
What
people
about
testing.
Thaddeus?
I'm not sure. Thaddeus seems to be more about
No arcana, crafting, diplomacy, stealth, thievery, genealogy. It says +1 in a new lore that's untrained. So you might be able to pick one there. I don't know. We should have a look at that and see.
Yeah.
I would say Raven would try and take a crack at it, right? He figures that he is going to need probably at least 3 hours tinkering with it to try it out.
I don't know if we want to wait around, guys.
We don't have 3 hours.
I don't think
Not
we
for
want
it,
to wait.
yeah.
So
Patience.
let's I think I'm just going to put it in his court, give him the equipment, and he can study at his leisure, and hopefully he can figure out where we are in the world
I
when
know
we show up.
once we come out of the portal, thank you. He will use his magic ink to write down which portal we just
The burning
Which
forest, yeah.
So what you need is you're going to have to use downtime, resting, well, not sleeping time, but downtime or camping time might be appropriate term for it, to establish this. He's going to need 3 to 4 hours of camping time to do it.
Okay.
Someplace that you guys stop to rest and you're not traveling, you're not moving. So if you're not moving, when you are not moving and you're not in combat and all those other things and you choose to do that, you let me know. Right now, you have been in traveling mode. You've traveled to the bottom of the pinnacle. What and where are you choosing to go from here?
Well, we're going to go back to the space in between. Do you guys want to camp here for the night, or do you want to get the hell out of here?
Well, we've got a patient who is very ill.
She's
Yeah,
unconscious and
I think our best bet
Fever.
is to head to the new location.
Yeah, this is this portal is Celestia's Veil, and the one that is supposedly north of the Fae is Verdantus.
Yeah. So we're just
how do we
gonna.
know this again? Like, how do we know what the
We're in the hall. I used my knowledge that was
recall knowledge,
retained
yes.
from the Tiger Spirit. So I used that knowledge that I retained to read the inscriptions on the portals.
Yeah.
Great.
And then we used that.
And there were some you didn't know, but many you did.
Yeah, many that I did. So we used that knowledge to kind of guess at where we should go.
Did you
And-
know the Northern Bay portal?
No, but we asked
And the king of the mer people,
mer people.
also was able to fill in some gaps.
He's the one that
gave
told
us that
you
knowledge.
his idea of where some places were.
Yeah.
He's the one that said that Celestia's Vale and Verdantus were the two portals nearest the Fae.
Right. So he gave us hints as to where to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of maps and looking at stuff like that, you should be able to see now if you go to your Foundry page, you should be able to actually go to this tab. You know, I'm gonna hold on here. I'm gonna stop this and I'm going to start this. Have I got back up on the screen behind me?
No. You got
Got Thaddeus.
Thaddeus's,
That's fine. That's what I want. Okay. Right here, you'll see there's a scenes button. You guys should have that scenes button on your own PCs to click.
Mhm.
If you click it, you should have one that says era map.
I do not have one.
Have you guys got access to scenes? Can you see era map?
I've got chat, encounters, actors, items, journal, rollable. What was that? Rollable tables, card stacks.
So none of you have scenes. You go right from encounters to actors at the top tabs.
Yeah.
I do. I can't see.
Yeah.
But I've got encounters to actors.
Well,
And then there's tabs on the other side of the screen, but they don't seem to be doing them either.
We have chat messages.
It looks like I cannot make anybody configure permissions. All players, observer, save changes. It's still not there, right?
Nope.
It didn't just pop up. Okay, I'm going to have to do some more testing because I've created an era map. As you can see, until resource information. Okay, well, here, let's just activate. Okay, you'll be able to see it now. It'll be up on your screens. Should be activated for you. This is the era map that everybody's used to, correct?
Yeah.
If you zoom in on the era map and you drag down to the bottom of the era map and you, oh, what the hell?
Oh, mine's taken off on me.
On the left-hand side, there's a button called Journal Notes. It's a little tag. It's one of those buttons right along the left-hand side of your screen, below the little man and the measurements and stuff. Do you have a little one that
Yep. I've got
says Journal Notes? If you zoom into the word Merfolk and you click the little Journal Notes button, does it show you these little fire icons? See, this is the problem when I am the game master because I can't see this. I can't see how it looks from your point of view. And normally you should just be able to make a tab and be able to do it. But I cannot because it keeps doing the same ID all the time. So,
All right, I have a thing that says journal notes.
We all have a thing that says.
Yeah, but when I open it, I just get a thing that says quests and
That's
nothing
what
else.
it says. Quests and then nothing
Yeah.
after that.
do you see, does it show a little icon like you see on the screen behind me here? This one?
I can't move the map.
I
Right
lost
click to move the
I'm
map.
Reloading my page to see if it comes back. It like
Damn
drag
it.
down out of view.
My lofty plans are not working out. Shit. Here's the whole idea. This little fire, you see where it says Merfolk here on the screen behind me? And this little fire here? This fire represents the fire of the portal of Lumina Cove. See?
Aha!
Oh.
You click this little fire and it opens up. It's supposed to open up something. Hey, what's going on? Oh, you double click it and it opens up the journal entry for Lumina Cove,
yeah.
and all of the information. This is so that you can tell where the hell the portals are in the world. For
Okay.
example, this other fire here for Mistvale Marsh.
That's the one with the pterodactyls.
This is the one for Firefinger, Mistvale Marsh portal. The party makes their way, so on and so forth, and then it had the information for that. See?
Oh.
The idea is I am trying to now give you a way to populate your map. You're right. How come it's not dragging? It's very clunky. I'm trying to give you a way to populate your map with where the portals are
Yeah.
as you discover them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Also to populate your map with journal notes for where cities or people are or other towns as you encounter them, so that you can come to this map, click on it, and find what you need to find. Now, I might have to try and, instead of having it be a map on our scenes, have it be inside our journal so you can access it there. But one way or the other, I'll figure it out. I thought this was something everybody could see besides me, and now I'm pissed off that you cannot.
I just lost my whole thing. Now there's just the camera showing me.
If you've got the camera showing you, that is the wrong tab. The camera showing you
The
is
video
on
ninja?
the wrong browser. You have the wrong browser. Look at the bottom and click on the correct browser. Do not click on the Edge browser. The Edge browser is the one I have your cameras on.
I understand that, huh?
Okay. I purposely put them on a different browser so that you would not.
No, I understand.
end up with that
I'm
problem.
not sure how that happened, but I
All
am
right. You
fixing
back?
things.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Let's go back to the Portal O Fire.
So we've left a message, we climbed up, and we're going straight through.
Okay, Raven suggests that maybe the best thing to do, if he's going, he would like a shot at trying to use the sextant. We're going to call it that. We'll just call it that now for the time being, this new funky looking sextant, to try and figure out your location here. He figures this is a safe place beside the portal because you're up high up on this pinnacle now and you're ringed by all of the stone and stuff like
Right.
that. That is his suggestion.
Do you think we can keep the pixie stable for 3 hours while he does that? And continue to keep her stable? Because she's
I'm
not
checking the
getting any
patient
worse.
to see if I can keep her stable for 3 hours.
Current state of the patient looks to be pretty much unchanged. She's not gotten worse. She's not gotten better. You had applied a treat condition to her. I believe Lavinia applied treat condition to her. And treat condition,
Oh, but I've got that too.
you do. All right, come in. Come in.
And Lavinia's got stabilized, I think, or something
Yeah, but
like
she
it.
has to be this side of death to
Yeah,
to
she's
work.
not dead enough. Larry, come
I would
on.
like to introduce Larry the cat.
Say hi, Larry.
Say hello, Larry. He's walking around my feet wanting pets. He just came in for being in the rain. And, oh, now you're happy. Are you purring? Yes? Okay, so, she's stable.
Okay.
You don't see any change. If anything, her breathing seems to be less labored than it was. You want to go down?
In your opinion, does she have the 3 hours required for Raven to investigate?
I believe she does. I will continue to monitor.
Okay.
Okay, so Raven attempts, while the rest of you rest, Raven attempts to figure out how this thing works, and he starts reading the manual using the magnifying glass that belongs to Thaddeus.
So this isn't an overnight sleep, so you guys don't get your spell slots back or anything, right?
Well, you could, if you choose to spend overnight here. One of the
has to be
things that
8 hours,
Raven would like is he would like, based on what it says in the book, he would like to have a clear sky tonight to see if he can use it. And we are going to roll to see
How's the sky looking?
if he gets a clear sky or not. And I'm going to make it a straight 50-50. And he's lucky because he just rolled an even number. He's got a clear sky tonight. The clouds clear about midnight, and he is able to access the sky at midnight to start using this apparatus that he's got based on the instructions in the Elven manual.
Yeah.
So we're staying overnight. So does that mean we can hit our? Because all of us took damage. So we're gonna update the rest for the night.
Yeah, who's going to stay on guard while Raven does this?
I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm just
Okay.
chilling with the young lady.
Okay. So I'm assuming just basically means you guys are all going to take turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take first.
I'll take the second.
While Percy, with his sharpened senses, is on his guard turn, he hears what clearly is some kind of very large troop to the south of you. He's guessing it's probably half a mile away. Some type of large troop, probably military based on the clinking, moving from east to west. They move off into the distance to the west, and this happens about 1 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
His keen senses include smell, and he can definitely smell the smell of rot, probably coming from that column that was moving.
I think it's some soldiering dead.
He's pretty certain that it's the soldiering dead.
Yes.
And they moved away.
And they moved away. They just went east to west, and they're half a mile away from the pinnacle.
Yeah.
And paid it no
So
attention.
about where the trail was, where we tracked down the undead elves.
Yes.
So once we've had, or are we still going through everybody's? Watch.
That's the only thing that happens the rest of your night. There aren't any other unusual things, although Raven works until 2 a.m. before he finally goes to bed. And in the morning, you guys get all your spell slots back.
That's my question.
Here you go. I'll pass these to you. You can pass Lavinia, take what you need from there, and the rest will be Raven's.
Right.
And Raven shares with you the next morning that his best guess for where you are, he rolls out the map you have of this world that you found almost right at the beginning of your venture. You found this map, didn't you? You found this map. Was it in the Crystal Lode Springs that you found this map? Or someplace like that.
Yeah, I think so.
It was in a chest when we got inside when we traveled through the portal to the new world.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was with the 2 dead.
And the notebook. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you've carried this map for a long time. So updated notes.
I need to ask you, what am I using for 3rd level spells?
Does it have a 3?
No, I don't have 3. We have no 3s yet.
Oh.
There are more spells over here. Hold on. Those spells are probably actually Raven spells. So
She's not gonna remember.
No, I've just been.
just
going
take
through
the
my
number of chips of the right numbers for the number of
That's
spell
what
slots that are on your book.
That's what I'm doing.
You need 3, right?
I need
three
two-
threes.
no. I need 2 3s,
Here we go. 2 3s.
and then
We use poker chips for our spell slots in this game just to keep track of that. Which reminds me, I have still got to make you a focus poker chip
Yeah.
for your focus spell.
yeah.
Yeah, the rest of these are all Raven's Chrono Shift and whatnot.
So just give those back to him.
Okay. Doesn't matter. He's going to get all his stuff back 100%. So Raven figures that based upon the map, he thinks We're going to go to journal entry. Is it showing the stuff on the back? No, it's not. Okay. I'll stop. And give me the adventure. Yeah, you did. Okay, good.
Wait, Simon Cam.
Simon Cam. Go to Lavinia. Hello, Simon. Simon is a super timid dog that likes to come and bark and then run away and never wants anybody to pick him up and hold him, but it looks like he finally gave in and let Lavinia pick him up. So there's our little boy, Simon. Simon is a double rescue. He's an old dog now. He's hardly moving around very much anymore. He sleeps most of the day. Too. Larry was rescued as well. That's right. Okay. Here is where Raven thinks that you probably are. His best guess is that you are someplace close to this F right here on the screen. So here's the Feywood. And he thinks the lower half of this F is where you are, according to the calculations he's made with the navigation kit. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some chapters, and we're going to take Celestia's Veil, and we're going to add in the journal a new journal entry. We're just going to call it that. Veil Portal. I always do that. I make a wrong E. And what kind of thing is it? It's just going to be text for now. I can deal with it later. We're going to create that new journal entry. And then I am going to drag it right here like this. Okay, and there is there's the icon. Like that. Okay. So that's where he figures it is. In the future, I'll get this cleaned up and we will get those. But his best guess is that the Celestia Veil portal is right there.
Cool. Quick question. Do we get our hit points back?
Yeah, just hit the beds because we rested. You don't get all of them back. You get whatever the rest entitles you to.
Nothing.
It should say rest for the night. And then you click
I am
OK.
fully recharged.
Oh, nice. I'm only up to 44.
Did you click the little bed?
Yes. Oh, well, we'll check it out later.
And did it bring up a pop-up that said rest for the night?
We did.
And you said yes?
I brought it up and it just said rest for the night. It didn't give me an option of yes. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're good now.
Okay. We should probably actually set up Raven too for this very same thing. Because he's down at 31.
Oh, wow.
There, he got 46 out of it. Okay, so he's got some. You don't get 100%.
My rest.
Right?
Mine
Unless
popped,
you're-
mine popped up to full.
Well, it's because I hit it and made it go twice. Okay, now you know where you are, more or less, for this portal.
Yeah.
It's morning time.
Okay.
The sun's coming up.
Okay.
It appears to you that the little pixie has gotten worse just in the last couple early hours. All of the time before this, she's been fine, but she's gotten worse, and you're starting to see black spidery veins under her skin.
Okay, we need to go through the portal quickly.
Yeah, it's 9:44. Should we pause?
Yeah, I guess I'm getting carried away. What we'll do is, you're going to go through the portal?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go through the portal. You end up again in the Hall of Fires. I'm going to take a couple moments and get the image of the Hall of Fires set up for you and all that stuff. Why don't we go to break while we do that? We can do bathroom run and everything else.
Stop streaming, right?
Yeah, so No, don't stop streaming. You can stop recording. You double tap stop recording twice. And switch the scene. Switch the scene to
No, we're already streaming.
All right.
Right. Yeah, you're good now. Okay, we're gonna do a clacker. Here we go, clacker. Okay, good. Audio's done. Welcome. Sorry about that. Welcome back. We have just taken a break. Our players have gotten back to the Hall of Fire. This is kind of a central spot that has a whole bunch of these portal fires in it. They don't know where it is in the world. It's an interior. It's an interior that when they came through the very first time and arrived from the portal fire from a place called Mistvale Marsh, which was a little portal that was on top of a pinnacle, very skinny pinnacle they knew as Firefinger. They found that there are 3 halls. This is a map of 3 identical halls. Each of them has a whole bunch of these fire portals in it. It's got big statues, golden statues along the sides and columns along the sides of these halls. And these 3 rooms, the doors are open between these 3 rooms, but at the end of each end room, there's a big golden door that's locked. So they're inside. They don't know where they are in the world. They just know that they can move from portal to portal here to get other places. And you've decided after your overnight rest at the Celestia Vale portal that you would come here. What do you want to do now that you are here in this one? As you come through, the most recent thing that's happened is you notice that the unconscious pixie that you rescued, who's still unconscious and is with you, has taken a turn for the worse. She has got these black spidery veins now starting to spread across her body under her skin.
Okay, should we do more holy water soaked rags?
You do that. I would also like to do treats condition.
Treat condition?
Yep.
Okay. So your treat condition, I always have to go back to this. That's an action at the bottom of your thing, isn't it? Treat condition? Yeah.
Treat condition.
Okay. You got your healer's tools.
Yep.
You are trying to reduce the sickened condition
Yes.
that is on her. All right. Go ahead and roll to see how you do.
I'd like to try that again.
So he rolled a 3. So he immediately jumps back to one of his other actions, which is, let's try that again.
You're so lucky that you have that action.
And you can only use it once per day. This will be your one per day.
I know.
Okay. All right.
10.
He rolls a 10.
I rolled a 10.
You would guess that her breathing has once again settled down a little bit, but the black spidery veins that are crawling into her skin have not retreated at all. They are bad, and they are spreading.
I'd like to say, because since we went on our break, 2 more people have joined. So
Hey,
hello
welcome.
to Chad 1982 and hello
guys.
to
Hi, guys.
Robro.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, it's so exciting.
So our party is desperately trying to save a pixie they found captured. She was staked out like a goat in an ambush that they fell into. They defeated the ambush. They've rescued the pixie, but she lost consciousness right at the beginning of that encounter. She's never been conscious since, and there is something deeply wrong with her. As I remember, she fell to her knees and she threw up a whole bunch of black bile, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it was after that she went unconscious. She's been feverish. You've been able to relieve the fever, but whatever is wrong with her has been unable to be cured and only a little bit slowed down by everything you've tried to do.
It really strikes me that she's been poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to see if I've got something that I can use that will help heal poisoning.
By all means, try the holy water.
something that we didn't cover right from the very beginning when you had the pixie is Thaddeus, roll for examination of the body. We never really did that.
Holy water has given her some relief, but we've been using it more topically. We have not tried to feed it or get her to drink it.
He rolls a 2.
Oh,
That is, this dice really are cursed, I think.
You flash.
Let's say that was for yesterday that you tried it. Raven says, I think that we need to. He's got.
is he going to do his chrono shift?
He's going to do chrono shift. Raven's got an ability called chrono shift. It's kind of like Thaddeus says, let's try that again. Here it is, chrono shift. Raven spends his chrono shift for Thaddeus to be able to try it again. Try it again, Thaddeus. And you get a +4 D4 that you can add to it because Lavinia gives you guidance.
And I have +9 for medicine.
And you have +9 for medicine. Okay.
18.
There you go.
18
That's better.
+9.
Thanks for the chrono shift, Raven.
Yay.
Yay, Raven.
Appreciate you.
So, in examining her, you realize that one of the things that was easy to miss before was that she has got a bite mark up on the back of her neck
Okay, so
that was
it's-
covered by her hair.
Some sort of venom.
It
and
looks like it's clearly a human bite.
Oh, so like the one that you got.
How are you doing with that anti-venom? You were working on it. Did you do any of it overnight while we were resting or camping?
She says, trying to retcon
Suggestively?
what everything was happening, which I'll go with. I'll accept. Where is
Okay.
that stuff? Is it in your inventory? The anti-venom
that would be
thingy,
in my inventory, yes.
or antidote? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. I took some tissue samples from the zombies.
Yes, you did.
And, with hopes of making an antidote.
Okay, well, I'm going to say roll a d20 to see what kind of success you had, and you're using your medicine as your bonus on this.
Yes. Which is +9. And 5.
You have been unsuccessful.
Yeah.
This is what you know. The same kind of black spidery veins that you saw very clearly, that same kind of phenomenon is present in both tissue samples that you've taken from the undead that you fought, the undead soldiers,
Yep.
and from the undead mastodon. So she's clearly got some type of ghoul disease that she is succumbing to.
all right, I'd like to cast Cleanse Affliction, which is affliction of the target, such as curse, disease, or poison. Poison.
Poisson.
A fish.
It's a fish disease.
It's a fishy fish disease.
Every rose has its thorns.
Every fish has its tail.
Gentle restorative magic pushes back the effects of toxins and more complex maladies. Choose an affliction on the target, such as a curse, disease, or poison. If it has advanced past stage 1, reduce the stage by 1. This reduction can be applied only once to a given case of an affliction, with the case ending when it's completely cured. Although the reduction can't occur again, heightened versions of this spell attempt to counteract with each casting. So right now, you can do it heightened to a third level, not fourth level, because you can cast third level spells, but you can't cast fourth level spells, which means that you can attempt to counteract the affliction if it is a disease or a poison, but not if it's a curse. You can't counteract curses until level 4.
Right.
Till heightened to level 4. So its range is touch. Target is one willing creature, which she's unconscious, and I'm going to say that's willing. And it's only 2 actions. So roll your die. See how it works.
All right. 20. Nice.
Woohoo!
Good roll.
A natural 20.
Natural 20.
You succeed as my sound's broken right now. It's going to take another week at least to get my sound fixed. Otherwise I was going to give you a really cool magic sound spell. Bling.
I'm gonna pew pew into the air. Woo, woo. To celebrate the 20, but not really because I don't want to use ammunition.
And you never know what kind of safeguards might be in this hall of fire against stuff. Okay, as you do that, you see that, yes, her breathing goes back to a normal level, and the black spidery veins do not vanish, but they become very, 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 very faint.
Good job.
Way to go.
Yes.
And you have lowered the level of her affliction by 1 full level,
Good.
Excellent.
which means that it was either a disease or a poison.
Okay. So that's
And it was
something we can
not a
take from
curse.
that. Well, let's hurry on and see if we can find some of your kin to help her.
Mm-hmm. So, go back to the adventure screen.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where you were. You ended up in the Hall of Fires.
Right.
You've decided now, what are you going to do? Are you going to try and move someplace else?
Yep.
Verdantus.
Verdantus, my friends.
Off to Verdantus we go.
Excuse me. Do I give you a level 2 or do I give you a level 3?
You give me a level 3, please.
Very good roll, by the way. Thank you.
Good job. Really good job.
That helps.
And we're going to go find our portals, and we
It's
are going
super
to
effective.
see if we can find our proper. Oh, I didn't make a nice one. That's the same one. Let's try this one. Okay. So as you, and then let me see, do I need to put that up on the back screen too? Probably, yes. There we go. As you step through the portal called Verdantus, you end up, this is what you're able to see. It's quite similar to the last portal that you were in that at the top of the pinnacle, there's a bit of a ring of stone around it.
We don't have it on our map.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that for your map too. Thank you for letting me know.
Cabbage.
I'm going to have to go to the Foundry. I'm going to have to see if I've got it under portals. Well, I only have the fire one.
Okay. So, can you take
Here we go. Got it. Neat.
Neat.
Good.
map?
There we go.
I thought we would be standing in it. We probably would be standing behind it.
I got to zoom it
We'll
up.
be standing outside the fire. Standing outside the fire.
Standing outside the fire.
Yeah, that's about the right size right there. Okay, as you come to this one and you look out, I'm going to just turn off the fog here. Simple fog.
That's Brooks, right? Standing outside the
Yes.
fire. Yeah.
Life isn't driving, it's merely so.
I'm going to zoom out the map for a little bit because of the vantage point that you have. You can see quite a distance from up here.
Mm-hmm.
And as you look out, you realize, there we go, that this portal is once again in the middle of some kind of forest. There are, in fact, this time, a few pathways
Ooh,
from a number of different places leading up to
cushy.
the edge of the pinnacle. They go off into trees, but the entire forest is covered in a mist. It looks like actually there's even a body of water off to the southeast side. You can just barely see a shoreline. There's white mist covering all of the rest of the forest. So there's clearly water there. You can even see what looks like a small stream coming out and trickling down into it. There are pathways, though. There are pathways that go off to, and I will get my little pointer out here. Oh my God, I'm killing stuff.
Is Raven able to give us some sort of...
Here's a pathway. Here's a pathway. Here's a pathway. Here's a pathway. All right. This is a stream that goes off into the water.
Is Raven able to give us any sort of indication of direction with the golden compass thing?
As he looks around this time with his sextant, he notes that right now it's overcast. As he looks up, though, there's something very strange about the clouds to the west. Something's going on with this cloud body to the west over the mist below you. Do you want to move? He suggests that we wait here for a little while to see if all of the turbulence with the clouds or maybe the mist below clears and you guys can see a little further. He'd like to wait at least an hour.
Was he able to roll for his familiar?
Yes, he's rolled for his familiar, and he has his familiar. He can send his familiar up to fly.
We also have spyglasses.
You do, that's
and
right.
I have amazing vision. So I would like to spyglass at the cloud formations.
All right. It looks to you like there's this very large, huge cloud formation that's moving towards you from the west.
Could be a flying city.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think it is.
Exactly. Only see the clouds?
Right now, you can only see the clouds.
Okay.
But it looks
Any
like the
sort of
mists
light
below
or
you
anything
are
like that?
clearing. Bear with me while I am searching for an image that I really, really want to show you.
The cloud starts going boom, 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 boom.
like Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Exactly, right.
All right. What have I got on the screen behind me? I've got that stuff, right? Excellent. Okay. As time goes by over the hour, most of the mist clears from the map, and you discover that as the mist clears, and I don't have a map with the mist cleared, so we're just going to do theater of the mind for this, okay? As the mist clears, you discover that to the south and to, yes, and to the east is forest, and then there is a range of mountains. A few miles away, it starts to march up into a range of mountains that is in the east and runs from the east to the southeast.
The east,
Okay.
like where the water is?
Yes, but that direction past the water, that water turns out to be a fairly small lake.
Okay.
Okay. Beyond that, and it's surrounded by trees, and then beyond that, a couple of miles away, you start to see the slopes march up to a mountain range that's 30, 40 miles away, that runs all along your eastern edge, and then it curves a little bit towards the south below it. here's the important thing. As you turn to look towards the west, you discover, as the clouds are clearing, that it's actually getting close to supper time. And as the clouds clear to the west, beyond these few little trees, it turns out that this is starting to become prairie and plain that moves off towards the west. So this portal appears to be right at the junction of the forest and the prairie. And as you look off to the west,
You're looking at the map of Era right
Yeah,
now?
yeah, we're looking at the map of Aaron.
as you look off to the west, and all of the mist clears away from what is trees that become smaller and smaller, and then they go off in the distance to prairie, the huge cloud formation above that, a wind comes by and breaks it open, and this is what you see inside it.
How rad!
Oh yeah.
And it is clearly the closest view you've ever had of one of the floating cities that you've heard so much about. You've caught a couple of glimpses of them in the past, off far in the distance, where you would see the golden domes and the towers just above the edge of the thunderclouds. But here, the clouds have pushed, as this has clearly been moving, the clouds have been pushed away by a crosswind. And for the first time, you get to see what appears to be the underbelly of the city, and the curved edge. As you look at it, it appears to be a city wall. And behind that city wall, from your vantage point, that city wall that is the curved edge at the top has got to be this curved edge right here. You would have to estimate from the distance away from it that you are, that that's a good 30-foot high curved edge. And then behind it are all of these different towers and dome. And you're able to even see what you think might be some type of armaments, cannon fixtures along the top of that curved edge.
Ladies and gentlemen, I suggest we get ourselves undercover.
Yeah, I agree. Let's hide. Don't know. So there's plenty of bushes around here.
Yeah, so if we go back and we look at this particular, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just stop this for a sec. I'm going to cast screen to TV like this.
So was our audience able to see the flying city as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they were. So we go back to what you're looking at. You can actually go to the game screen if you want, and then we'll zoom back into you guys being there.
Mm-hmm.
And I will
You
zoom.
mean the 360, right?
You can do whichever one works for you, but I'm going to zoom the map in to the right height for you, so you can decide
Yeah, just
what you want to do about hiding.
Okay, looks like there's
brush.
several rock formations and
A lot of low-level bush. It looks like most of the bush that's on this plateau is at most 4 feet high.
okay.
wow.
You could
I
stoop
think we
down
need
and
to
crawl
get
under
You
ourselves-
it.
can definitely get down to 4 feet. So
Yeah. Let's
And
hide
still
in the bushes
carrying
as much as
her
possible.
pixie.
yeah, well, she's already at less than 4 feet. So
Well,
even
we
if she
can-
was standing up,
We can pitch our tent and throw some vegetation on top of it.
that's an idea.
Okay.
There are taller trees down at the base of the pinnacle.
This is true.
What do you guys think? Should we
Since
try
we
to
have-
get down?
Since we do need to get down anyways to find...
yeah, we're gonna go down. And so, but we were waiting for the sky to clear,
which it
so
has
that-
done.
so that Raven can use the
Sexton.
gadget.
And he can use it just as well from down there as up here.
This is true.
It is now currently, and he would prefer to use it in the evening because most of the stuff is about celestial navigation.
Yeah.
And so he wants it to be dark. He wants to do a nighttime reading again. He can't
Right.
do anything with what's happening right now with sunset. It's clearly sunsetting in approximately an hour.
I'm going to use the time to work on the anti-toxin
Okay. As you're discussing this, that city is just moving very, very slowly. There's no noise from it. It's just floating along, and it's not going to float right over the pinnacle. It is going to float off. You would guess from the direction that it's moving right now, it's going to float off somewhere south of the pinnacle. It's going to cross from the east to the south. I mean, from the west to the southeast as it's floating and moving. But the speed at which it's moving is probably going to be, you would guess, directly south of you sometime in an hour to 2 hours.
Okay. I do have to talk to you guys. I don't think we should get down quite yet because remember there's several directions that we can go, several paths. I don't want to go down the wrong side of the mountain and have to backtrack.
Do you want me to zoom it out again? I'll zoom it out again so you guys can discuss paths.
Because we've got from here, there. Like there's like 5 different paths.
We are going to say right now that our awesome here, put the thing on me for a second. We're going to just take our cool little, this is the, what's this thing called?
Ringing bowl.
Ringing bowl.
Or singing bowl,
Singing
yeah.
bowl.
Okay, we're going to use the singing bowl on the map as the big city. Because I don't have a big city to put on the map. So I figure this will work perfect. We're just going to take this thing. It's got a little pad. No, it does not make that sound. If you were closer, you might hear sounds from up there, but right now you don't hear anything coming from it. The city is here on this edge. You can probably see it from room cam. I don't know if you can actually see it from game cam. We're going to say that it is.
Yeah, you can kind of see it, but the party's in the way.
Well, we're going to pull it, actually. It's got to come way back here. It's got to be about here, and it is going to cross from this area. Yeah, with the room cam, that'll help a little bit. It's going to cross from this area, this direction. So it is going to be heading, you guess, its trajectory as it floats is like this. Okay. As the next few minutes go by, you start to see a lot of the cloud underneath it once again close in, and it's almost like there's some type of interaction between the base of this city and the base of this city and the clouds, as though it is either the atmosphere is interacting with the base of the city and the clouds are the byproduct. Something like that is happening because it just takes a few moments and almost all of the base of the city is once again covered over by cloud. You're still able to see, though, the rim of the city and everything above that. The cloud just seems to only cover the base where all of the blue lights and the 3 rings of the base are. It gets once again covered over, and it looks very much like the other 2 sightings you've had in the past of the Cloud City. It's still a hell of a lot closer than you ever had before, but clouds and then the city as though it's floating right on the top of it.
Did you just take a picture of Raven?
Took a picture of that, I think.
I took a picture of this because there's
it's
tech,
cool.
there's game, there's DM, there's players,
It's
there's
fun, right?
picture
Yeah.
of Raven.
Awesome.
I was like, this is kind of cool. All right.
Yeah.
I just want a picture of that.
Memory.
Yeah, yeah.
We can
So-
also screenshot our videos.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can now let me know what you're going to do, but we are going to be shutting down in 5 minutes. We are just about at the end of the night. It's 10:30 here where we live in Mountain Standard Time.
It is no longer light out for the person who was commenting. I can't believe it's still light out.
Yeah, no, it's gotten dark here now.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that this would be a good place for us to take the break if you're good with that. And I just want to tie up any last minute loose ends before we shut down for the night.
So we only have the one tent now, right?
Yeah, because what do we use the other tent for, or did it get snatched away by the wind?
We
Got
lost
ripped.
it in Orzel's.
Let's go
Right.
360 for a discussion or go room.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it got snatched away or destroyed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that the poltergeist that was like, wee! Dave did the voice for it. It was so creepy. The banshee. The banshee that kept on popping out and surprising
Are we
us.
talking about in Orzel's mansion?
Mhm.
mansion?
That's where
Yeah,
we had
yeah,
the-
yeah.
What did that sound
It's-
like?
Well, you guys, I think the first time that it happened was when you opened the cupboard door. You were looking for the skulls, right? And you opened that cupboard door, and all of a sudden there was this massive thing. Now, you know what? Most of the people on the stream probably didn't hear a thing because I have got sound limiters on our sound setup, so that if it goes too high or it goes too low, it cuts them off. Now I'm going to temper those limiters a little bit so we get the high sounds, because I noticed when we were playing with the parrot that we're going to convert to Raven, was a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
That when the parrot would talk, it was silent on our live stream. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And it's because our OBS, our system that's running our live streams for us, I've got the frequency set, and it was removing the parrot's frequencies, the parrot voice frequencies.
Because they were too high.
Because they're really high. They're higher than ours. Right? So it cuts out stuff like that. I'll fix it in the future.
So when we make unintentional high-pitched noises, it just cuts out.
Yeah. This is what it looks like on stream. So I'll let it, I'm going to remove the high-end gate on it so it doesn't do that as much. So we can get a few more of those screams that actually work. Okay, so you've seen the best view you've ever had of a floating city. You found the portal of Verdantus, and you don't know exactly where it is in the world, but if Raven gets a good clear night sky tonight, he'll be able to tell you where you are on the map.
Okay.
And what direction that we should be going.
Well, because then
Then
we
you'll
can
know,
refer to
you'll
the
decide.
map and use the legend of the map to figure
I
out
thought
where the
that he had,
population areas are.
Like a
Oh, he's got a compass. You know which is
Yeah.
north, south, east, west.
I know, but we made a marker on the map because of something that he saw, right?
No.
Oh,
No. We made a mark on the map where we last were.
oh, okay.
So that's
Previous.
he made a mark to the previous location
Yeah.
because he ascertained the latitude and longitude. So
Okay.
we have not yet ascertained latitude or longitude of where we are now.
Okay, so maybe we don't even need to hang out and use the compass then.
Well, the compass is important because you definitely need to know which way is north, so you can
We know which
establish
way
where to
is
start. So if you have a compass and the sextant, you can establish where you are.
So on the map, on the game map, if we switch to game map with the cameras for a sec, you'll be able to see here that, and I can drag it around for you. If I zoom way in, you should now be able to see, does it show the, thank God it shows the portals. These are where your portals have been. Here was the one when you encountered the merfolk. This was the one that was known as Lumina Cove. So that fire represents that portal at Lumina Cove. You've now got that marked on your overhead map. Here is the one, the very first one you discovered on the top of the little pinnacle called Firefinger. This was the one known as Mistvale Marsh. We learned later that the term Firefinger might have been used by the locals in this area, but Mistvale Marsh was in fact the name that was in the Hall of Fires for this spot. You now know that up here is where you had just had all of your recent fighting. I can't see because of the bowl. This is where you'd had all your recent fighting, and that was the area that's now called Celestia's Vale. And you know that all of this forest below it is burned. And that the forest above it, the last you saw just as you left it, is not burned. All right? There was no burning here. The burning was on this side and this side here. You left that one, and you guess that you are someplace north of this point. Someplace north of this point in possibly this area. And
There's possibly a body
Raven
of
will
water in view.
confirm that if he can get a fix based on the constellations.
Now, what is... Yeah, God. What is that? That
So
looks like habitation.
the green thing in the middle,
Yes, that looks like habitation.
I like your pointer.
your tomahawk was a nice touch. Tomahawk was a nice touch. If we zoom in on it, it has lettering. It's something on your map that's got some lettering, and it says Elfheim. Elfheim.
Yeah, now if we
And
can
it's got a
establish where we
big
are.
green
Yeah.
tree with some houses underneath it.
We should probably go there.
Well, once we figure out
Once
where we are.
Yeah.
Notice also that there are a couple of ranges of mountains.
Yep.
There's a range of mountains here to the west that swings to the southwest. I mean, to on the east that swings to the southwest. There's two ranges like that. There's this one here, and then there's this one down here, right? It starts out over here and it swings all the way to the southwest again.
I mean, of course, I'm kind of worried about this thing called the Serpent's Horde. That kind of concerns me.
We haven't had great experience with the serpents.
No, we haven't. If we are close to the Serpent's Horde, let's avoid that.
You're talking about Serpent's Mound?
It looks like it's mound. I thought it was horde.
It says Serpent Mound.
Oh, okay.
Regardless, I would like to avoid it.
So, Thaddeus, attempt to recall knowledge check real quick. Raven will as well.
$18.
18. Well, the term Serpent Mound suddenly rings bells because Serpent Mound is actually a ancient site well known in the world of Terra. And it's something that, yes, Serpent Mound is a place that is known in Terra because there is this serpent shape that has been built on the ground.
It's an earthwork?
It's an earthwork. And I would suggest for your homework this week, go and look up Serpent Mound.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think I know about it.
For the people who do not know, Terra is Earth, like the Earth that we currently habitate, that we were transported from to this magical world of Era. So what Dave is telling us,
Let's put it back on 360. We can't see it, Amanda.
Master is telling us is that there's an actual landmark that we should research and learn about that is in both Terra and Era.
And
Yeah.
our audience could have the same homework.
That's right. They could look up Serpent Mound because the whole idea behind the worlds of Era and Terra is that they are twin worlds, that they share the same geographical attributes, although they have different cultures and different histories and somewhat different races. Ooh. However, there is overlap, especially mythological overlap, because most of the great mythologies of Earth have actually come from Era and have been bleed through all of the veils. In this case, there is a geographical feature that clearly exists that's prominent in both worlds. Just like the coastlines are the same in both worlds for the most part, and most of the other major geographical features. This is the first one that you've run into that's actually got a name, though. So you've just, in looking at this closely at this part of the world, not far from the Feywood, you realize that Elfheim is clearly a settlement with the word elf in the name, and that Serpent Mound is just north of it. And now you just have to figure out where you are on the map. Okay, that's it. We are going to call it there. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming and hanging out. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks to everyone who stopped in today. We really appreciate you. It means the world to us.
Current plans are
the pigtails Mary.
Yeah, good pigtails, Mary. That's right.
Pigtails.
Current plans are to run next week. We will be playing again next week. The rest of the next 2 months, it's going to be erratic, so you'll need to keep an eye on our Facebook or on our Twitch channel to find out, or even on our website
Yeah.
to find out if games end up running or not. Sometimes only with a couple days notice. We may not be running on a Wednesday night, and the reason is this is high season for us as performers. So we have a lot of gigs and other things that we're trying to juggle with our regular schedules. We will definitely not be running the week of June. I forget what the date in June would be. The date in June would be June the, let's go here. May. Wednesday, June 5th. We're not running. Jan and I are out of town. We're in Medicine Hat that day.
Oh, nice.
So we definitely will not be running that week. So we've got 1 week between then and now. We still plan to be running on the Wednesday, the 29th. Then we'll be off for the 5th and probably back for the 12th. Okay. Good for everyone.
And yeah, I mean, of course, it goes without saying during K days that I will be occupied.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
the last
And Glenn
weekend.
maybe as well, and you as well.
Well, with
Considering
festivals
Alex.
coming up, they come and go throughout the next 2-3 months. The festivals will be this week or that week. It all just depends on where we are and whether we're traveling, we're in town, we're out of town. We'll try and post and keep everything up so everybody knows if we're going to be around or not. At the very least, we'll try and shoot for every other week. And sometimes we'll be able to squeak in, the middle one and get every week, but it's just going to depend. I'm not going to know until a week before at the most.
Well, if we shoot 2 sessions or 3 sessions each time, we've got plenty of material.
Yep. And I've still got to go back and edit for our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I've got to edit the last 3 live sessions. I'm going to break them up into episodes and make them a little easier for people to navigate and not have to wade through, because they're, 3-4 hour videos, and that's too long.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and get them down to nice little 40-minute sessions, and then people
Excellent.
can, pick and find what they want. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks so much,
Thank
Steve.
you.
Thank you, guys.
you.
Thanks
Thank you,
everyone at
everybody,
home. Have
for
a good
being here.
night.
Thanks
Have a
everybody
good
for
night,
attending.
everyone. Bye.
And thank
Until
you
next
to
week.
everybody who joined us for joining us.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Click like and subscribe.
Click like and subscribe. All right, go ahead.
Awesome.
Take us to the screen that says thanks for watching. It's on the second page.